sound check. Haha, that's funny. Can you hear me? Just want to make sure. You're not first or last. Well, that's true in most sports. Awesome. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi. Tim should be here too at some point.
Yep.
Oh, I'm like, what button do I hit next? Not that one. I'm like, what button am I doing? How are you?
Oh,
Back
good.
in 2001,
Yep.
when we first
Excellent.
began working with Gary Gygax.
There we
he
go.
pitched this
Talk about some
wonderful
monsters
series of
tonight.
ghost tales. He
Yeah.
called them the Gygaxian
Well-
fantasy
well,
worlds. What he envisioned was this encyclopedic
it's a great topic.
set of books
Yeah, that's what I
for
figured. It
role
was,
players,
you know,
writers, game
Yep.
designers, the whole lot of us.
tweaking,
we could use in making our games,
always
creating our
changing
adventures,
them up
writing
too.
stuff
You know,
for publishable
it's a
content,
big thing.
whatever it may be. And there was really no end to what he envisioned this series to be. We eventually
go.
published The Canting Crew, The World Builder, Living Fantasy.
Spaced
7
goat.
volumes in
We have
total.
goats.
We
I
had another
can't deny
3
it. I have
ready
to
go
mention
print,
my
another 3 or
Ayusian
4 after that
zombie
that we were
goats.
working on. So
I
the series
can't
was really opening.
go without them
We are
today. Yeah.
bringing these
Yeah,
back.
that's fine.
That's what
My
this
best
Kickstarter
monster
is.
ever.
We've got 7 books online.
I
My most-
fought-
Printed
I
I wouldn't
them
say
in
my
Tower.
best.
Three right
I
after
fought
that.
them in Tower Gygax, so
Minimally out
Yeah,
as,
they're not
as
my
we were
best
working on
monster,
at the
but they're
time.
my kind
Those
of
will be definitely in PDF,
quirkiest,
depending on how
coolest
well
in
the
some
Kickstarter
ways.
does,
Yeah.
and maybe even more than that. Once we kind of push beyond the necessary stretch goals and all that mess. But welcome to the what we're calling the Gary Gygax World Building Archives, and please give us your support. Share it around if you can. Pledge if you can. Whatever you need to do, whatever you can do for us and the memory of Gary Gygax, we very much appreciate it.
Cut that short because it's always so loud.
That's a good thing I don't hear it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so loud. Yeah, absolutely. It's really cool that so much stuff, and there's a lot going on. So yeah, absolutely. So long shot. It's always good news. It'll get a lot of people interested in GREYHAWK, and that's why we want to direct them when they're looking online, the internet, the Twitch here. So I agree. Let's see if it's another wrong one. So I'm just I thought I had them set. I guess I don't. Too many. I thought I had the other controller game ad set. I guess I didn't. Oh well. Still really early. BB, what's up, Phantom? What's up, Chris? What's up? I probably didn't change the damn shout out, did I? So, yeah, it's there. But it just didn't change. It says begins tomorrow. It's now. Oh, thanks. You're talking about, yeah, I mean, it's a lot. So, I got those new cameras now. I can move via the computer. That really helps a lot. We still need to move an 8x8 table. I still need to move a lot of stuff around. You know, it's okay. I'll change that shot up here. I got a second here. And I'll start to give away to one here. There, now it should say has begun. All right, we're up. I got your badge, and I already set. And I got your.
Yeah, I saw that.
I
Thank
got an
you.
event for you, 6 to 8.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that's perfect. So I'm going to add to that. So yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I got it as a placeholder. So
Yeah, that's
awesome.
great. Time is good too.
Very cool. Tonight, monsters. All right, 1 second here. Give me 1 second. Just checking on something here. Everyone's doing well. You know, just it's a Sunday. Short work week for a lot of people. It's the 4th of July, so it's always a good thing.
Yep.
Just checking. Yeah, get in. It's Classic D&D reprint tonight. Oh, it's Canada Day tomorrow? I didn't know that.
Okay.
I'll have to bust Patrick Stone's when he comes on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a 3-day work week and then, you know, off for 4th of July. And then I'm working a little bit on Friday, but not much. So, let's come live. We're a little early. But it ain't going to hurt anyone. So, oh, Anna, look at this. Where's your Zoom? It's Zoomless. Look at that. You're blank.
Zoomless.
Well,
I'm
look,
blank.
it's not
Okay.
there. Oh, great. Okay.
But
give
they
me a second.
updated it because the buttons are in a different
yeah,
place.
everything's all
I
over
got
the
a
place.
Zoom update.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Mhm.
Give me a second
I
here.
had to find places. Yeah, I had the same issue when I streamed with Linda on Friday. I had to go in and find it. It's a different window, so you have to update it.
Hopefully this doesn't crash anything.
I don't think so. For me, in OBS, it worked. I just had to find the window. There you go.
It's just like, my gosh.
It's the Windows is named differently now. But in some ways, they seem to be even more stream friendly because the buttons are smaller. So hopefully it's
okay. Cool. Well, it was like that was weird.
There we go.
Because you came on right after I started, so I didn't, it didn't see. There we go. Okay. All right. Well, that's good enough.
Mhm.
And when we go to the other screen, I'll fix that too. So
Well, then,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
either
We'll
it
go to
fixed
because we
itself or
will
you
go
have
there
to.
because we're gonna
Yeah.
go there right in a second right now. So let's do that right now. Let's go here, and if I gotta fix it, I gotta fix it. Yep, gotta fix that one too. So if you know, see, there is Zoom. The Zoom is in there's a bar for it. I guess yeah, it's all new sourced. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's they changed the code, so they named it differently for some
Oh
reason.
my
Yeah.
gosh! All right, I'm gonna have to do that on all my streams now.
Yeah.
It's funny because I didn't have to do that yesterday. That's weird. All right, no complaining. It is what it is,
I
right?
had it Friday, and that's when I had the same problem. So
Really,
it was
really
something
crazy.
that
All right,
updated
perfect.
Zoom. Yep.
So, we are up and live for Virtual GreyHawk 5. Hey, it rhymed.
Mhm.
So, just simple buy badge. Oh, it's not going to show. It's only going to show my what do you call it, behind the scenes stuff. Buy badges, submitted events. We should already have.
There's a couple events already.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, there
Mhm.
are, and there's 3 more I haven't scheduled. So already got 9 events. So we're good. Les has gotten his in already. Chantel got
Yep.
hers in.
I'm
We got.
going to add more. I have a seminar, a 2-hour seminar as usual, but I will add at least one game too as
Oh,
well.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
You don't have to live stream it on. You can just play, do whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to run. These will be skirmish games set in Shieldlands, so they will be leading up to my Game Hall Con
Oh, cool.
game. They will be run parallel, so I will use the same area and stuff, and they will also feature my house rules. So in the shape they are. So since we don't have any, there will be no leveling up. You will be given pre-gens, and off we go, so to speak. So yeah.
You renamed it Terrestic Doom Grinder, BB. That's funny.
Yeah.
So back to this. So I'm running the Lost City of the Soul twice, and it's going to be different parts. I just don't want to put part 1 and part 2. I want people to say, "Oh, I got to sign up for both," because that's not the case. But this one, this Sunday morning, it is going to have to change. Cause let me share this. Hey Sam, let me share this
Hello.
message
Uh-oh.
I got. Okay, take 2. I'm checking with the architect to see if we can pull off a one-off of the opening of Beyond the Barrier Peaks during your GREYHAWK weekend. You pick the 8 people, and I will provide 3 to 4 hours at your pleasure. This, of course, gets the 8 people selected into the roster for Guild Aspirant status. When the roles are next voted open, a sponsor accelerates this process somewhat. And that's from Andrew Scott Perry.
There you go. Now you got a chance, guys, to
Warp.
play in the Warp campaign.
So I will move that one.
The coolest GREYHAWK campaign.
Oldest.
Yeah. Jay, you have to step aside.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, they don't play as often as we do. But
exactly,
I'll say it's
that's
old.
the thing. But I'm not saying the age, but in some ways it's kind of the coolest.
It is. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you don't know who Andrew Scott Perry is, just look him up. He's always at Gary Con. I had him on a lot. We talked. I sat down and just talked to him for like 2.5 hours. At Gary Con about Jim Ward and other things. It was awesome. So I think it's finally fit into his schedule. He's so busy. It's finally fit into his schedule that he is going to be able to join, do this. So I'm really excited about it. So, and I got some artwork is brewing for, we got 2, 3, and 4. We're looking for the 5th. That's brewing right now as we speak behind the scenes, for shirts and all that. So we're just getting started. This is June 30th. You can't sign up for events until August 15th. So you got a month and a half. No, 2.5 months. No, a month and a half. I can't even.
Month and a half. Yeah.
Month and a half. Hey, mine more. So just note, this is the beginning. Sign up, please. The more signups you have, the more DMs will get, and vice versa. And I'll be pushing out as much as I can and getting people to advertise for it too, because this is the 5th year.
And then we need events. So
we need events. So if you're don't think you can do it, no problem. But you don't have to stream anything. You can just run it via Discord. You run it via Zoom. You run Theater of the Mind. Everyone's fine with that.
And we'll see if I will stream it or not. I'm not sure about that part, but I will definitely run stuff.
That's great to hear. So back to our topic here. I'll show that a little later again when we do shout outs. because we got a lot going on these next 2 weeks. My gosh. So, I'm trying to think of how this topic came to me. I think I
Yeah.
was running the game Thursday night because I got, you know, Murlocs running around, and I said, well, we had to change the name of them, so we call them amphibious stalkers. But then there's all different types of amphibious stalkers in this book, and I'm thinking to myself, well, that's it. So why not just discuss? Because a lot of people don't, I guess they're hesitant to do this. How to just tweak a simple creature? You're allowed to. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what edition you're playing. You're allowed to do it. you
Yeah.
know? So, like, even an orc, there's tons of things you can do. And that's something that I think we should discuss tonight and just go into, and some of our favorites, go into them and what we've done with them. Because I have some, you have some. When Tim comes on, if he does, he said yesterday he was coming on, but who knows what came up with his schedule. He may be running late. Who knows? So, because that's why he's ever mysterious. What's up, Vamp? How we doing, well,
Hello.
Chad? Hey, Rascal. So, so Anna, why don't you give us a little synopsis on this discussion? What do you
Well, I think any DM, even if you don't homebrew, you should at least tweak your monsters, because otherwise the game gets predictable, and boring is too strong of a
Gary
word,
Con
but
Live.
because there are lots and lots of monsters. But I think you need to
Thanks. Thanks,
you need
Garner.
to tweak it, and you need to at least work a little bit here and there to add flavor to them. And then you can tweak it, and then if you homebrew your whole games, then you need it even more, I guess, because you're talking about the creatures that live in your world,
Hey,
so to
Tempest.
speak.
Yeah,
And
that,
they need to be fit the stories
Thank
and
you,
the
Tempest. Good to see you.
environment and all of that. So yeah.
Yeah,
the
thank
more
you,
you
Gary Con Live,
yeah.
for the raid in, and just we're going to talk monster customization. We also have a classic D&D reprint giveaway tonight, which could always land you this, which is Free City GREYHAWK reprint. Look at how thick that thing is. Well, it's 2 books put into one. And there's a lot of other ones we have here. So yep, just please, it's good to see you. Hope you're all doing well, and it's amazing. So where was I? Was I Thursday? I'm like, I guarantee I get a phone call, right? And so this immediately starts on messaging while I'm live. So it just never ends. So yep, good to see you, Warped, and thank you all for the support, and just hang out and ask questions. And yeah, so it has nothing to do with homebrewing. This, not at all. This has to do with, number one, I got guys I've been playing with for 44 years. I got to figure out how to change it up sometimes. I got to figure this out, because they're not easy to trick. And I'm not saying we do it all the time, but we got to make some changes here and there. Just even some of the slightest things can be beneficial. To upgrading. Yeah, lurking's fine. Look away. So trying to think of some of the most basic things I do. Some of the most basic things I do is, and I'm not saying they're increasing via levels. They're not. Hey, darling, how are you? Darling, I hope you like
Hello.
Rosalita. She's badass. She's got that wolf head pelt for the for 2 weeks. An ancestor of Rosie. So let me know if you like that character. It's a lot of attacks. She also specializes with throwing dagger. She's awesome. Yeah, I'm starting to get out all the character sheets, Anna, for the 24-hour stream. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I got a ton of them. Yeah, so here, badass looking. Look at that. She got that wolf pelt head on her. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So, yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, and then we're going to be highlighted on Twitch, so on the front page starting Friday night. I don't know if it'll go into Saturday, but starting Friday when I start, I'm supposed to be highlighted. So, just making a character having an elite class of them. I do this all the time for not goblins, but I do it for orcs. I do it for hobgoblins.
So you put classes on your monsters?
Well, I do that, but I make them elite, so I'll up them
Mhm.
a hit die.
Yeah.
So for
Because
example,
that's a standard third edition thing that you could add class levels to monsters. That
you
was kind of the
can,
thing. Yeah.
you can. And what's up,
Hello.
Greg? So for me, I do that, but I don't do it as if it's a class that just like a D&D class that you could play. So a big example on that is, and I was going to hold off on this, but we'll talk about like I will make one a champion. I call them like different things, sergeants, champions.
That's and then you beef
Yeah.
them up accordingly.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. So, and that is actually, if you look in the original, if we go to an original monster manual, it's hidden in there for most of the monsters. And why didn't that? There you go. That's a slow switch. That was really slow. So, if you even go to, and we'll go here to orc. We'll just go to standard old school orc. It's got a pig-faced orc picture too. I won't go there. I almost did, but I won't go there with anything else. Orc. All right. If you start going to here, and they talk about it, for every 30 orcs encountered, there will be a leader and 3 assistants. These orcs will have 8 hit points each, and then it starts going up, right? And it just talks about how, look, now they got 2 hit dice, fighting as monsters of 2, it just talks about, they're leveling up here, bodyguards to chief, 3 hit dice. So there's nothing wrong even back in first edition with taking a 1 hit die orc and bumping it up and up and up. There was nothing wrong with that. So and giving them magic weapons. There was no weapon specialization back then. Giving the champions weapon specialization. Giving so that way they get multiple attacks. They do that all the time. So what's up, Michael? It's nothing wrong with at all with the Onis. Yeah, Onis though, aren't they leveled up ogres? Baby?
I don't think I've even heard of an Oni.
Yeah. Onis are you mean or Oni's another name for this, the Ogre Mage.
Ogre Mage.
Yeah,
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Ogre Mage are kind of
I know it was on the page.
awesome in some ways, but I have a difficulty with their Asian things, so I kind of I've tweaked them slightly different, so to speak.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah. Well, you can. You're supposed to kind of.
Because calling him a Japanese ogre, that makes no sense.
Yeah, exactly. That was that was my problem with them. So,
but there's not a lot of thought process going into the repercussions.
I simply take them as powerful shamans that run whole clans, so to speak. They are the smart ones, the leaders, and the ones that are smart enough to whisper in the ears of another leader. So because they don't want to stand in the
Hey, Jeff.
They don't want to take responsibility, so they have someone else doing the talking, and they're whispering in the ears, so to speak, so of the high and mighty.
Yeah, and they're very nasty, and they got a lot of abilities beyond the standard ogre.
Yeah.
So, but beyond a humanoid, Anna, and our specialty ones that we each have, talk about maybe something that you've tweaked slightly.
Well, yeah, and you talked about you beef up the hit dice, meaning you give them more hit points and stuff. That's one thing, but I also keen on giving them more wisdom, skills, and abilities in that sense, meaning they should be smarter to deal with, because some of the most important things when I run a monster is their intelligence and wisdom scores, meaning how smart are they? How much do they plan ahead? How much do they react wisely? When do they know when to run or when to fight, etc., so to speak? And how do they know to lead others to do effective stuff? Or are they just egotistical maniacs, either cowardly or very ferociously fighting until the death, so to speak? That those are characteristics that I find very important to develop, so to speak. Even you can have like hobgoblins and orcs, for instance. They fight, in my opinion, very, very differently. The hobgoblins fight like Roman legions. They support each other. They are neck and neck. Yeah, exactly. They fight like a unit, so to speak, and they're proud to be members of the unit and fighting it. Orcs, they want to show off their individual bravado, so to speak, and show off to everybody how strong they are as individuals, and that kind of, if some many hobgoblins would defend one as long as it's feasible in order to, if it benefits the whole group, they will definitely do it. They have loyalties. Orcs will be like, if he runs up there and thinks he's like the big wig and gets slaughtered, the other orcs will laugh. Well, he wasn't really worth it anyway, so or something. So these are kind of things. They're both evil in that sense that they love to do whatever they want with the enemy and spare none, but they treat their own kind very differently. But that's just me trying to give them different cultures and stuff. And goblins are sneaky, skulky versions of hobgoblins in one sense. They can fight as one, but they are very they running around and they scurry away and they never hold ground, so to speak. As soon as you encounter some hard resistance, they will just melt away quickly and then throw spears and whatever, do ranged weapons or do a sneak attack. And as soon as there's like trouble, they will run away again. So you try to, it's not only the stats, but the give them culture, give them tactics, give them stuff like that too, flavor, so to speak. That I think is the very under appreciated part of monsters, especially cool things like humanoids and stuff that apparently they have culture, meaning they can produce equipment, they can hold even build realms and stuff. So that means that they should have different ideas, and also in the way you encounter them. Where do you encounter them is another important part, so to speak.
Well, yeah, and so that is a huge, a huge possibility is that you can take and just tactically increase them. Of course,
Yeah.
that's a big thing. Traps and all, and there's been a lot of articles about, especially
Yeah.
with kobolds, and
Yeah.
they shouldn't be able to just go through and slaughter them, and that's true.
Yeah.
That's really true. For
But
me,
you have the
God,
problem with numbers depending on your rule system. You have to keep the number depending on your rules and how you want to go about playing. You might want to limit the numbers of enemies to maybe 5 or 10. You don't want 50 or 100. So yeah.
Yeah, but I don't mind them on my table. I'll throw out as
Meaning you have
many
a
of
big
them as I
table.
can.
Yeah.
And plus, and that's another thing. I'm not. It's not bashing any other edition, but using group initiative, I can manage a fight with a lot of creatures.
Oh yeah.
Where if
Yeah.
I do an individual, it just where I don't have a VTT in front of me calculating it, it could get messy. So, but neither here nor there with that. I said everyone's style is slightly different, so
Yeah.
when it comes to how you're resolving combat. So for me, it's no problem. Large fights. In fact, you're going to see some large fights in 2 weeks. Large and deadly. So all right. Someone mentioned Noel in chat, and
Yeah.
until I'm trying to think of the first adventure I saw.
Vampire kobolds.
They're busting my
Awesome.
balls. That's all what
Yeah.
they're doing. Yeah. Is that what maybe Jeff isn't there, but I get, Orthron's busting my stones in cannon fire right now, so I'm just ignoring him. So, I don't remember the adventure. Anyone remember the first adventure you saw, Flynn? And some people pronounce them Flind, Flynn, whatever.
Yeah, I like flints.
Yeah, Flynn is the same way I do it. I do
Yeah.
Flynn's. They were awesome about them. They seem interesting to confront in the Underdark. Yeah, I haven't. Let's see. There's the one you were talking about. I have no idea what they are. I never heard of them. Viril, I don't know what they are. So, the Flynn presents a problem in the world of upgrading your gnolls to have at least, the Flynn should be running them. They're just high end. They're a little bit more involved with the Flynn bars. Because the Flynn bars actually can disarm your player characters, which is really cool. And they barely do it, and they get 2 attacks with them. So here we go. They normally attack with a club, but it's right here. So this is a great little trick. Will instead carry chain linked iron bars, which they use in attack, moving so swiftly that with these devices, so it's like a 3-section staff. They gain 2 attacks per round. If either attack hits, the victim will receive 1 to 4 points of damage, and in addition must save against wands or will have his weapon become entangled and he is disarmed. He or she is disarmed. So that is cool. And that was always a way with a, and I'm not saying that they're Knowles and Flynn's are the first of the large humanoids, right? After hobgoblins, they're next. They're before bugbears and hit die. So I always loved throwing a ton of Flynn's at them because they were paranoid about them.
Yeah, I have one question. Why Flynn bars? Is that can anyone else use those weapons?
So the answer to that is no, because it's just like, and there's a couple of the instances of this. So, and I'll give you another one in this book that I don't know if a lot of people use, but they're a weird one. I'll show you another one where it's no, it's just this normal 3-section staff. So these Flynn's must have developed this over generations or whatever.
Yeah, but that meaning humans are smart. If the Flynn's are successful with it and it's a really good weapon, then someone else should use it.
You would think, but that's one of those quirks of the game, man. I mean, in your campaign, you could have someone say, "I'm going to take Flynn bar."
Yeah, I would simply say that if a character say, "Well, I want to learn it," I'll say, "Yeah, you manufacture a weapon, and you will follow the same rules."
Fly in. I always say, I've said Flynn my whole life. Who knows?
Yeah, I've said Flynn's too.
If it's wrong, Beacon, it's wrong by me.
For me,
we hacked everything.
Yeah, for me, it's just rolls with Swedish better than Flynn's.
I think there's another one in here that we will go to that I will show you is the same. With an item that is only proficient, specialized in their hand, and that's the Kulin. These things, all right, yeah. So they're large, 8 foot tall. Kulins are large, seemingly insane humanoids which wear war paint. They would never wear armor, either wearing naked or clad in tiger skins. So here you go. They attack with broadswords, which have been honed to an incredible sharpness, a technique so far not emulated by man. So they're +3 damage and hit probability, non-magical. And they blunt easily. And once they're blunted, you can't redo them up with that. So there you go. It's another, and these are fiend folio creatures. So there's a lot of that. The man catcher, that's another one, Lord Forth. The man catcher is another one that the Croatoans have. I think they're in here too. That's a good one.
Yeah, man catcher. But I like these things, but they should follow the same rules. Meaning, if you have if they can be operated by Croatoans, why could humans or orcs or someone else figure out the same type of weapon? Meaning physics is the same for everybody.
Hey, Kirk, physics is the same for everyone, but sometimes so you can't. How do I say this? If you apply logic to a world that has magic in it, so maybe
that's
you could.
The thing. Yeah. It depends on how much of a game you want it to be. That's what I wanted to say. If you run it, if you have a higher game factor, meaning it's more of a game and a little bit less of a simulation, then rules like this perfect. Meaning it's not, this is the rules and run with it. And you want it to be balanced and functional as a game. There's nothing wrong with that. In many ways, it's preferable.
Yeah, and another thing, Croatoans also have the glue they put on their shields. And I've never seen a player character ever say, "I'm going to glue up my front of my shield with the Croatoans goo."
Then you have to, and then you have to research that thing, and that glue comes from a special creature that only they find in the caves or wherever they live, and it's really tricky, so to speak. So
it's cool. I mean, it's a little different. Here's another weird.
That's really cool.
Here's another weird one for the Croatoans too. If they have a certain number of priests together. All right, and they have their pincer staff. The priests, I think it's 3, and they got to be of a certain level. They can actually do a summoning, and they generate a lightning bolt.
I like that. Communal casting. Yeah. I really like it. It's that you can cooperate to cast powerful spells. I love that part. That's I think that fits in. Thematically, it's cool, and it doesn't break the rules, so to speak, or break the.
Here it is.
power curve.
Oh, it's only 2. When 2 or more clerics or cleric assassins operate together by joining
Yep.
hands, they can generate a stroke of lightning. The bolt
Yeah.
is very narrow, so that
Mhm.
that's kind of yeah, like electric eels, BB. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's cool, man. It's a
Yeah,
neat
I
little.
love that idea that you
Yeah.
can have spellcasters that or monsters or anyone that can learn to cast spells together with others
Yeah.
and aid each other and make the spells more powerful. That, yep.
So, but here's a trivia question: what is the coolest thing about Croatoans in my campaign?
Yeah.
What is the coolest thing about Croatoans in my campaign?
I don't think I've ever used Croatoan since.
Never.
I think we ran the slavers thing back in the day, and there were some Croatoans somewhere.
Okay.
That's the only, and that's so long ago that it wasn't really in my GREYHAWK
Ugh.
campaign. It was before we started. I started running my GREYHAWK campaign properly.
So, you guys are all. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, no,
I'm
we're kind of
disappointed. Because
they're cool.
they
Yeah.
can't come out into the surface world in the light so much. So what have they done to raid the surface world? Come on, you guys. They developed the freaking amphibious stalker / Murloc in my campaign to raid. Yeah, if you saw Thursday night, they were all over the place. Yes. So there you go. We'll get to them. We'll get to those. So yeah, I
And
think
that's a
Pittsburgh.
cool illustration
Yeah,
too.
that's
It's awesome.
yes, that's actually ripped right off from Warcraft, but that's okay. We had some, and I once for Thursday night I apologize up front. I did some really silly stuff. I mean, I ripped off one of the worst movies of all time. I guess that was kind of funny, but yeah. So yeah, I ripped off a movie Anna here called A Gnome Named Norm. It's yeah,
Oh,
a gnome
yeah.
named Norm. Yes, so one of the worst.
There's a movie made named Norm that I've heard of, but I don't
Here
think
you
I've
go.
ever
It's
seen it.
Anthony Michael Hall, Jerry
Okay.
Orbach, and
Yep.
a freaking gnome. There you go. There's the gnome. Yeah.
I've
So
heard about it, but I've
yeah.
never
So
seen it. Yeah.
yeah, I couldn't help myself, and yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
So they captured Norm. Norm stole a thing called the Lumen from Grottle, and they captured him. So
There you go.
yeah, fun
You
times.
got a near GREYHAWK adventure too.
Yeah, well, it was actually he was all the way in Altamira. So bad days. That's 90s, BB. It was 92.
Well, the 80s lasted into the 90s.
Lasted long.
They did
They
back
did.
in the day. For
I
us that
love-
were around, we kind of the 80s lasted into the early 90s.
They did. They absolutely.
Yeah.
They absolutely did.
Yeah. I think the shift, at least for me, the shift was a couple of years into the 90s. That's when things changed. So,
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
No, I can't find my right
No,
book.
the 80s were good in some ways. Yeah.
Yeah, the 80s were awesome. I love the
Yeah.
80s.
From 78 to 93. That's about right.
All right, there it is. So here, I'll show you since we're on that topic. So take something and then run with it. So if we go to the Free City of Altamira here, and we go to the monster section, and some great artwork here, you got your amphibious stalker. But then from this you have, and this is where you create other types, right? You got an oracle, so you got a clerical type. You got a myrmidon, who's a very fast type. And once again, I can't use WoW names anymore, right? I can't call them land strikers or cold.
But those names that are just mechanically based, I don't like those names. They need to have like culture names and real names. And if they're just monsters that just named after their mechanics,
Right.
I think that's kind of boring.
Okay. True. But you need to,
But Kuatua is cool because that's a real name, so to speak. So the name Kuatuans are awesome.
They are.
Murloc is really cool too because that's also a name, so to speak. That might be cool.
Yeah, it is cool. It's just it's owned by Blizzard, so
yeah, exactly. That's why you have to do it. But
that's one of those things where we just want to be a little careful.
Yeah.
And make sure we don't do anything stupid. So yeah, but for me, I've always and when we have large groups of humanoids, and I guess this was a 3rd edition thing. Not having a healer like a priest or a shaman of a deity, or a witch doctor, which can cast some mage spells or a mix of spells. Seems silly to me that they wouldn't have those there. How are that? You know what I mean? So if you had, say, you had 20 hobgoblins and it's a raiding group,
Yeah.
one of the leaders is going to be probably some kind of spellcaster or shaman, and not that, you know what I mean. And that's what I've always done. I've been getting into a lot of that, and so a lot of people ask me this question: well, what rules do you have for setting it up? And I'm very amorphous when it comes to that. I'll take like part cleric, and I'll take, well, for some classes or for some things, I'll take, well, this one they're doing earth magic, so I'll take some earth elemental spells and mix them with the clerical spells. I'll say that shaman or that witch doctor is has both, just because I want to change it up, because I don't want my guys knowing, oh, here comes a whole person, here comes a lightning bolt, here comes a fireball, so it's a tweak. Here comes, let's see what Tim says. Now, the ever mysterious Tim is coming on very shortly. So, Anna, your thoughts on spellcasters and humanoids? It's easy to do with CNC, Dale. It's set that way. That's great to hear. That's cool.
For me, it's the evil gods don't heal properly, so to speak, or true healing. That's the evil. What they can do is that they can steal hit points and life force, and they can give, like, worthy creatures can get temporary hit points and stuff and boost it. So long as you're not bloodied, then they can boost you up and give you some strength, and that's by yelling at you and threaten you, so to speak. So that's why humanoids and others, they will fight very fierce until they start getting hurt. Then they will probably succumb and say, okay, this fight is not for us, and run. And so on, because their deities don't support them, and it's simply then you're a coward. Michael, if you're not up to the fight, then leave, so to speak.
Look at that shirt.
Or die. Yeah.
Tim, the ever mysterious.
Hello.
So, we got wonderful. Dale even said, Asher, who's on now, said during the game yesterday, you're making me want to go back and run Wilderlands games.
Okay.
That he was so excited about the game yesterday, and I really appreciated that.
Well, that's very complimentary, because I like their material, and everyone has their image, a picture of what it's like. But so I'm glad, because there's so many options there. And their materials, such thin little material packets, but so much, seeds for tons of stuff. So,
well, Dale, I'll agree. It's like, I love it second behind GREYHAWK as well. I mean, absolutely. By playing it in all these years.
Because Tim, you run it for decades now. Your city state, has it been a continuous campaign as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only have two. I have Devrilia, who's my 13th level Cavalier, and Kixano. He's like, what, 9, 10, 11 or something, Fighter Clark Mage. My poor man Gazumba, I call him. So, and they're the only two characters that I've ever. Oh, no, that's not true. I had Devrilia's brother first, the Clark Ranger, and he died from yellow mold. And then I brought her in there. Yeah, I brought her.
Yeah. Kixano, he's the less pretentious than Gazumba.
Well, Gazumba has got a lot more important things to do. But so on that, a couple of people said, "Man, Jay, you play that character like with arrogance and confidence." I'm like, "Yeah."
Well, you should have figured out how to do a Cavalier by now.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was fun. It was a blast, and we're going to play it in the 19th again.
I had a chance to see Jay give advice about dealing with me, which was funny to hear that, during the game. He's like, with Tim, you can't be fearful. You cannot be fearful. You must decide, your action and do it. Because I will create fear.
I know you will. I know you will. And Patrick, I'm sorry if so. Here's another thing, Anna. So Patrick, Ancient Gamer's playing Helvorn, which used to be Tim's dad's character, and he's lawful good. And my character is a fallen paladin. She's Cavalier now. She's a long time ago. She couldn't hack it, especially in the. Yeah. So she's lawful neutral, and she's just like, you're not gonna like this, but I get the message from Overlord. I'm gonna relieve this guy, but I have to kill him. He's like,
The
can you
Overlord
just
said
let him go? And I'm like, no.
The Overlord said, make sure he doesn't return ever. Your discretion.
Yeah. So I'm like, no, we can't let him go because that shows weakness. Yeah. So.
But I think it's an important point, meaning how strong could you humanoids and others be? Meaning, compared to humans, are they orcish fighters as powerful and skilled as the humans? Yeah, in my campaign, definitely. Meaning, especially orcs. Hobgoblins, a few, but most of the hobgoblins are mid-level. There are very few kind of they're mid-level because they fight together rather than being individually as strong as possible. Orcs are die young, so there are a whole bunch of really low unskilled, and then a few of them they go up, and those mid-levels get weeded out quickly, so to speak. So
I would allow the capability of it, just so much less likely, because culturally there's so much stacked against them, and everybody's trying to kill each other, in one way or the other. So it's hard. Humans have a way of, usually have society and cultures built in where there's places of respite, places of security, and so you can reflect and thrive, and like humanoids don't.
So I would have it's like a really ruthless society. You have a few really skilled ones at the top, and then you have a mass of ones struggling, and there's very little middle class, so to speak, in the middle level in the fighters. Hobgoblins are way more mid-level because they take care of each other and stuff. They realize it's good for the group if you can bring those unskilled low ones up to at least decent soldier level. And so on, but that also means that there are the top ones are a little bit less. That they are the exceptional ones here and there, but the orcs have more exceptional ones, way fewer in between, and a lot more that are just struggling for the first time because most of them die in the first battle. So.
Here's how I handled that, and it's a great segue in here. Fiend Folio comes out, and there's this cool thing called an Grillin. Right? Half orc, half ogre. Perfect. Knobby hands, 2-hit die, attacks with both fists, 2-7, 2-7. Really a great segue between the two. And then I start reading in Eyes the Evil and all these second edition things. All of a sudden this word Orog shows up. And I'm like, what the frick is an Orog? And then someone tells me, well, it depends on which ogre mother or father is. And I'm like, that's stupid. So what I said was, what I said was, Orogs in my campaign in GREYHAWK are Ayuz's bred or Rukai equivalent. They level up like humans as fighters do. And that's what my Orogs are. So when they hear the word Orog, my players, they're scared. Because those Orogs are nasty. And that's kind of the elite of the elite orcs that I use as bred in my campaign. Now, whether they have a dash of ogre in them, or they have a dash of human blood in them, or whatever, it's immaterial how Ayus came to that point.
They have some sort of performance enhancement,
right? And that's what my Orogs are. I don't want to. Oh, my mother was an ogre, and my mother was a human. So one's an ogre, one's an Orog. I don't care.
What if the parents were both half?
What, half ogres?
Yeah. What if the parents were both ogrelins? What do you do?
Then they're still ogrelins.
Yeah.
So
I haven't played around that I haven't nailed it down yet. I need to make up my mind because you kind of brought it up. So I haven't gone that deep into it yet, but I definitely need to. I need to settle it down.
I think I use on this. Hey Troy, and thanks for assisting. I think IU's needs shock troops beyond the what do you call it? The Boneheart, the Lesser Boneheart. I think he doesn't have enough. But they're all thousands and thousands of orcs. But I like to have some. All right, this Orog's 5th level fighter. You know what I mean? And he's fighting with a halberd. I want to see that. I mean, it just reminds me. Yeah.
Yeah, I made the orc tribes and the hobgoblins and stuff like that. Like in my Shieldlands campaign now, the hobgoblins, I have Glushnag the Mighty. He's like a 13th level fighter. And he has a bunch of other abilities too. He's sneaky and stuff, and he has some mighty spear, magical spears and stuff. He's a beast to kill. He fights better than most, so to speak. So I definitely have the top ones are as mighty as any human warrior. Some of them are in some ways even more, so to speak. So they're kind of a warrior barbarian type in that sense, because they can use rage and fight fearlessly, fear no pain. They don't have to worry about fear or anything like that. Once they get going, then they will never fail a will save, so to speak, in fights. In that sense, they are more powerful. But on the other hand, they have the hobgoblins are good because they have backup of the others. The orcs, once you get in there, the other orcs, they will look in awe, so to speak, and follow them, but only as long as they are alive and kicking. And as soon as that, they will say, "Oh, he was a loser. Don't follow him." Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Tim. By the way, you're going to see a lot of Tim in the next 3 weeks.
I
Underdogs.
apologize.
So
No,
the
don't.
underdogs are next Saturday morning because we have free. Okay. Then Tim's
Yeah.
going to be at my house for the entire 24 hours of playing all 3 games. Then we're going back to doing the city state on the week after that, on the 19th.
Yeah.
On Saturday
Wow.
morning. Yeah. So we're going to see a lot of Tim. So
That's good.
yeah,
Yep.
it's going to be awesome.
That's awesome.
Go ahead, Tim.
Yep.
You can make. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. You're making a point.
What?
I thought you were going to make a point.
No, I wasn't.
All right, so I there's a lot of how to tweak monsters as far as giving them classes, and champions and sub chiefs and chiefs have always been in the game in first edition for orcs and hobgoblins and all of them. But and Tim got me on this first time. Hey, I have a leveled up goblin, a leveled up bugbear. I have 2 actually leveled up bugbears in the Bounty Hunters Guild. Everyone, yeah, we don't need to go through the names again, right? Yeah, yeah. First,
Poo and Kaka.
yeah, there you go. So he knows. One's a fighter, one's a bounty hunter, and so I've done that a lot. They're even more rare than a human adventurer, but they do exist. So
I've been doing something similar in the reverse dungeon.
you have been. Yep. Good.
I was going to say, how do you guys treat shamans and stuff? What type of magic? How do they function, so to speak, both mechanically and kind of thematically? Yeah.
Tim, you want to go take that up?
Yeah, I actually treat it culturally first,
and
then mechanically second. So you can have a druid who's a shaman, and the stylistically shamanic, and you can adjust the spell components. Or there's a number of articles in the Dragon magazine for different types of shamanic magic for humanoids. And there's also in the Dragon's Foot, there's a type of shaman in there, a totemic shaman that I've used as well. So
yeah, the totemic.
We had all those kind in the full underdog repertoire when it started anyway.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
even a cleric, you could even do a cleric that way, but keep it cultural.
As an example, this is off the beat, and maybe get a chuckle out of this. Amphibious Stalker / Murlocs. A shaman is going to get a mix of clerical and shadow mage for me. All right, so they get blur, shadow bolt. They can do some curing. Very little. They cure light wounds is about it. But they will get a net of shadows, those kind of spells. The Tide Caller, which is like their witch doctor type, is going to get some mage, but mostly water elementalist spells, which makes sense, right? Ice Storm, Snowball, Cold Snap. They get Magic Missile, Freezing Hands instead of Burning Hands. So that's an example for them, what direction I took them.
Yeah.
So
look
at that. The Tim head is big. I know. Thank you, Patrick. That's cool. By the way, it's Classic D&D reprint night tonight. Feel free to sign up. Yes, we get a certain level hype train. I will always double it. So, and like I said, this is a wide open discussion. So if you all have ideas, please put them out there.
Yeah.
And right now we're not even talking monster ability tweaks. We're very basic in here, talking spellcasters and things like that.
Yeah, you could have a shaman who's pantheistic. So there's like a selection of types of spells that could run the full gamut of their tribal or their cultural deities, or just stay more nature based, like the druid.
So what you could do is imagine an orc tribe that's in the Vespi forest. Now most of them worship the torch of Grumsh. They're Grumsh worshippers. So obviously they're going to either go Grumsh or Luthic, right? In those cases, but there could be a druid and a more nature-based guy in there. Can you imagine an orc druid dropping down call lightnings? Right? That could be a neat thing, because that's
So
one of
I
those
have-
devastating spells in old school.
I have the Mike Disney plays the Priest of Hang, the Thunder Spirit, which I kind of made it. It's like I made it like a specialty priest, but really it's from the culture where he's more like a wise man, or he's not called a specialty priest of Hang. He's called the wise man, and so he
Right.
fits in there. But he's pretty much a shaman, but he's just follows with one deity.
We'll see them Saturday.
Yes, you will.
Who's playing in that so far? Mike?
We have Mike Disney, Patrick, Dwayne Prometheus. The Nazrat.
All right. Yeah, Naz is back. Good.
Yes, I have those 4 right
Tim.
now.
I thought there was a 5th, no?
Is
4's
there
good.
I have
4's
to
good.
check.
That's
I'm
awesome.
old now. I gotta check.
We're all old. Yeah. All right. So don't have disparity demon.
I forgot. I'll be
good
terrible.
So
Alex.
yeah, Stabinsky?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Antiquitous. Awesome. Hey,
think so.
Celtic. So
maybe no.
let's all we'll round table this. Maybe we'll do a monster and then something you've done to it, even if it's a small tweak. Go ahead, Tim. I'm gonna bust your stones about one.
Well, I think I know which one you might be referring to, but I want to refer to my recent inventions.
Yeah, go for it.
The trolls and the troll fens been associating with followers of the Great Devourer, and they came up with a surgical procedure where the big trolls cut out the stomach of a smaller troll.
Oh yeah.
And since they heal, they're regenerating, they through the help of the devourers put black puddings, green slimes in the stomach, and then they stitch it shut. They fold it over and stitch it shut, and now it's this bladder that kind of has a mucous membrane that protects it from the corrosives, and it regenerates, and they use it to hurl at their enemies. So it breaks open when it hits them and splashes them with green slime or black pudding or ochre jelly or gray ooze. And that's how I reduce the value of Jay's characters and Patrick's character's armor.
I don't wear armor anymore. It's just I'm not gonna wear armor at sea. Yeah, that's freaking.
It was awesome to have Jay
trolls
shot.
with ooze implants. That's awesome.
Isn't that's disgusting? It's a new level of Timness, which we've seen.
That's the same way like the abyssal trolls that I use create. Yeah, nasty abyssal trolls that when the characters encountered them the first time, they were, especially the young ones, they came in first. They thought they were and then the older bigger ones came after. So they carry over the those were Iusian shock troops. When it got really bad, they had them in cages behind. So when their own troops didn't want to advance forward, they opened the cage, and then the trolls came and killed everything, and then run. So the ones in front of the cage, Iusian's own troop, knew that the only thing was to mix up with the enemy and hope that the enemy could help defeat the trolls when they came, so to speak. So that was the
disturbed saying. So for me, with trolls, I want to show this. Hopefully we can refer to the. I should have. This is the one I did not find, but if we go to. This is a dragon's bestiary. Those terrible trolls, Alec Baklowski. Date on this is November of 1993. So, Dragon issue 199. Now, some of these you may see, and some of these were in this, and then I'm telling you right now, Pathfinder and Kingmaker has these monsters in them. First thing is the Troll Hound's in here. All right, now the Troll Hound is exactly what you think it is. It's a troll. It's a troll dog that is, yeah, regenerates. Yeah, nasty. So I've used them. Phase trolls. Yeah, I should have had this up. I'm sorry. I have another one up. The gray troll, and that one's negative energy. That one drains levels.
Trolls are fantastic. You just have to
Stone troll.
Okay, yeah.
They smoke weed all the time.
Fire troll. So it's immune to fire. Yeah. But like phase spiders. Yeah, a little bit like phase spiders, BB. Trollhounds are Trollhounds are Steve and David Chenault's dogs. That makes total sense, Manfred. The one I've created, I should have had to pick up, is the Dark Brotherhood's gotten. And I put this in. Oh, you'll see this in Visions of Greyhawk. The articles on rumors that Ed Greenwood and I did coming out. It's really cool to say I wrote something with Ed Greenwood, Anna. It's pretty neat, actually. Talks about the Dark Brotherhood's and Holly, the head of the Dark Brotherhood's gotten away from armies. She's like, the army thing's not working. We lose all the time. We get our ass kicked every time.
So, I was going to think about. Oh, sorry. Please continue.
They've created these pox trolls. You've seen them on my stream. The ones that have the pustules all over them, and they actually spread disease. Yeah, so the pox troll was my creation. I got the stats for it and all. Yeah.
So instead of stomach stolen from somebody else, they have big giant pustules.
Right, and they're very highly contagious.
It's almost as gross as me, Jay. Good job.
Oh, well, thank you. And I have miniatures for them too. Go ahead, Anna.
I was going to ask you: are your trolls? Do they get injured or turn to stone from light, or are they kind of what's the drawback, so to speak? Why are the world run by trolls or overrun by them?
Yeah. That is occurs once, and that only occurs in The Hobbit, because the trolls, the Olaghai trolls that you see in all their stories, are bred with humans, and they don't go. They can go out in the sun, right? Yeah. So you only see that with the old
stone trolls.
Yeah, the ones with the shoes, booted trolls.
Yeah, I have certain normal trolls. They don't like it, and then they get like weakened. They see worse and stuff like that. Their vision is for night and stuff, so they tend to avoid it because they are they don't function as well at night. They are much more superior hunters, so that's why they love the night. But the abyssal trolls, that's their drawback. They die from sun radiation, so they can't take. Otherwise, there will be. I use with at least 10,000 of them, then there will be none, so to speak. So that's what if you invent super monsters, you have to figure out a reason why they haven't, especially if they've been around for a long time. Why haven't they taken over the whole planet? And in the sense of the abyssal troll is because they're specially bred. They don't breed naturally, so to speak, and they're kind of a mishmash created from abyss, and they're also not suited to the general environment. So if you take them out during the day, they suffer and die. They will, but if they could survive in a cave, and if you feed them for a while, they will last their lifetime, which no one has figured out exactly how long that will be. But so they can be around, but they will not be threatening taking over the whole world, at least not to begin with, because they don't breed naturally, at least in the normal environment, so to speak. And they don't out in daylight. They are not a big problem, so to speak, because they will succumb and die. So cool. So you have to kind of think about the same thing with dragons and other powerful monsters. Think about why isn't the world, or maybe the world have been run by dragons or trolls or something, or whatever. But so think about balancing it both mechanically in fights and stuff. But there I can be very there can be monsters that are very mechanically very, very good, but then they might be limited by other factors. They breed very slowly, or they have sensibilities and other stuff that makes them really vulnerable as a species, but not as an individual, so to speak. And that might be, you might have species that are solitary, very strong individuals, but they breed, they stay away, and then they are aware of their vulnerabilities, that they are strong individually, but they know that they can't go around getting themselves killed, because if they had those habits, then they would die as a species, because they breed slowly and so on. So you have to kind of, I try to make
What's up, Bill?
the monsters make sense, but then there are the exception, meaning wizards or gods might create weird things, so to speak.
Owlbears.
Yeah,
I,
or beholders or whatever it is. Something is created weirdly or animated or something, and they might fall out of it, but then you have to come up with some other reason why they're not taking over the world, so to speak.
I had the city state game. There was 4 green dragons, the
Yeah.
2 parents and the 2 kids, and their weakness is that they're chaotic evil and they highly covet. They're
Yep.
greedy, highly covetous, and jealous of each other. So
Yep.
yeah, they're going to support each other, but then if they die, one of them dies, they get the treasure. So they're kind of
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
And
we saw that.
Yeah, and chaotic evil, meaning chaotic evil dragons, they might only protect their offspring until they're old enough that's supposed to fend for themselves. And if they come in and mess with the parents will kill their own offspring as well as anybody else if they don't stay out of the way, so to speak. Or the offspring might realize, now you're old enough, I'm going to kill you and take over, so to speak. So they might be completely ruthless against its own kind, because it benefits the species as a whole, so to speak, in order to do it. So
that made it handy, because if they all 4 came at the same time, that would have been tough.
Yeah.
So that was a good start there with the stomach.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting.
Jay,
Yeah,
what
and
were you
that's
gonna-
another
what-
cool thing. You can mess with them. They can, and trolls, I think, are perfect. They're not that smart. They're smart enough to be dangerous to both themselves and others, but
Yeah.
not smart enough to be really smart, so to speak. So
that wasn't their idea. You know, they didn't come
Yeah.
up with that idea. Somebody,
No, but
I
someone else
doubt
did
it,
it to
yeah.
them, and they realized that, oh, this could be cool, so to
it
speak.
was
So
so
I can see
gross.
them, trolls, especially since they grow new limbs. I can see trolls
Yeah.
experimenting with all sorts of weird
Hey.
things just because it's cool, so to speak. They're
Hey, you're
kind of,
small. You don't have a stomach for fighting. Well, guess
exactly.
what? You're
Yeah.
giving it up.
Mhm. Yep.
Stuff.
Yep. I can sense that trolls are, because they can physically take almost any form of beating, which means that their culture can be so brutal, physically brutal, because they can stomach it, literally, in some sense.
Stop complaining. You'll be fine
Yeah.
in a couple
Mhm.
days.
Yeah, and you can use that to your advantage. You can make trolls fun and interesting by giving them weird culture in that sense, so to speak.
Forewarning: thunderstorms are coming through where I live, probably where Tim lives too.
Yeah.
If
Yep.
our power goes out, you'll know it. Just like
Yeah,
last
we
week.
have 100 degrees here, so hopefully our power will last. So yeah.
Jay, what were you going to bust on me? You said there was one.
Oh, it's simple. Come on, and Bill, you still there? In the Wizard of Id. Let's not just have normal skeletons. Let's have.
Good point.
Yeah,
Yep.
Bill.
Mhm.
Bill, what are we? Bill, go ahead. Bill will say it.
Mhm.
Wizard of Id. Let's see if Bill puts it up.
What was
Yeah.
wrong?
Yeah, now we get
Not-
into undeads. They
not
are an
just normal
awesome topic by
Invi-
itself. Yeah.
Invisible plate wearing skeletons.
Yeah.
Hey,
But first, I think there should be, at least if you go by D&D standards, so to speak, there should be 2 base types of skeletons. The undead skeleton, that is clerics and others do, and then there should be the pure animated skeleton, meaning you just, like you can animate a broom or whatever, you can animate a skeleton. Nothing undead, nothing evil. It's just bones that have been animated to do things, and they should be different in that sense, so to speak. And one is just you animate bones. It might be culturally evil, but it's no undeath involved. And then you should have the undead skeleton that is created by raised dead. Yeah.
with longbows.
Yeah, then you have, like if
Yeah, so
anyone
they
who
were-
played
they
Diablo
started out shooting
know
you.
that skeletons with bows are a thing,
Yeah, but
so to speak. So you can
Tim
make
would
them
give
a
them
thing.
skeletons with like freaking firebomb things.
Yeah. And then you can do cool things with, because you can turn bone into steel with that. There's like
That's a necromancer spell in my game. Yeah.
exactly. You can beef them up by making them invulnerable to a bunch of stuff using
Well-
that type of magic too. So there is like support for it in the rules.
There's
Yeah.
an even better necromancer spell for skeletons and zombies. Bill the Master Crafter, what spell is that? Watch this. for skeletons and zombies for a necromancer to cast on them. Let's see if he's there and he'll answer it right away. Because double spell and blast bones, both correct. So double spell, when a priest turns them, they disappear, but double the number come back the next round. So that's and then the other one's blast bones, where you set them off like a bomb. You put like nails on, and then poosh, all over. They're both. Nice. I think Ed created one of those spells. So sorry, Luke Gygax is texting me right now, so I have to talk to him. So I'm going back and forth right now. So Luke said some nice things about Virtual Ground Con getting it kicked off.
I saw that. Yep.
Yeah. So keep on. Yeah. So Anna, why don't you give us one while I'm texting back?
Well,
Luke here.
undead I think is one of these thematically super interesting parts of monsters that you can do so many cool things. You can mix up undeath is something you can give to a whole range of almost. It's like in third edition you have the templates that you gave a monster, and that was like an undead template. You can give almost any type of monster, and you can combine so many cool things with undeath. That is super cool. And just like take the simple skeleton or zombies, and you could just do cool things with them by changing their theme or giving them some super ability for like a limited time. They might burn or explode or whatever. So they're from the basic monsters that you can run in hordes to this super. So undeads are I think in they're not invented by D&D, but when it comes to tabletop role-playing games, and D&D kind of made a lot of them common, so to speak, that are part of the story. And I think they go from the dumbest monsters in the book to the smartest. So even intelligence, they can vary from the free-willed undead, vampires and liches and stuff, and ghouls and others that can even build societies, to things that are just raised to be cannon fodder for necromancers or priests and stuff. And then you can have some of these that are created naturally, more like banshees, ghosts, and others. So undead fill many different niches. And I think one of the things that I think is important with undead is that they should tie in thematically to it. They can be mechanically very similar, but they should tie in thematically. Take ghosts and banshees, for instance. The ghost is a human that died and want vengeful or very agonizing death, and wants to haunt or kind of wants to live after its death in order to make things right for some reason. And then you have banshees those are the elves that abandon the Seldarin. They die in agony because they can't live on forever. So they go out as banshees if they don't repent and stuff. And if they go evil, they will die in pain and abandonment and become banshees. So there is a reason culturally for them, so to speak. So they will die as a sort of ghost eventually. If that's the revenge of the Seldarin, or if it's just that no one really knows, but it's so they can go out that way.
So last Thursday, when we did our 3-parter prelude for the Hateful Wars, they were down in the dungeons part of it, and there was a gazebo, and we went by it. A ghost of an elven girl, probably young for an elf, is like, will you please dance with me? And they're all paranoid as hell to go into that gazebo. And finally, one of them got the nerve and did the dance with her. And so she was gonna scream as a banshee, but they kind of placated the spirit by doing that. So so you can do all sorts of tricks there. You rush bats. Oh my God, Dale, that's cool.
In my house rules, there are essence, meaning every type of creature has a sort of essence. That's the life force that brings them life. And there are different types of essences. You can have a soul, a spirit, or you can be a mindless one, or you can be an unminded. Those are skeletons and stuff like that, undead. Or you can be a dark soul, like liches and certain ghouls, for instance, they have that way. Or you can be a spirit, and spirit and souls have different things. So if you become an undead, then depending on what essence there are certain forms of undead that are exclusive to that form of essence, and vice versa, so to speak. So an elf that becomes spiritual, a gray elf, cannot become certain types of undeads, but cannot become a ghost, for instance, or not scared of certain undead, but they can become other types of undead and so on. So there are different, depends on and different things happens to you after death, and so therefore you can there different fate can befall you after death, and certain things. So you have to be, if you have a soul, for instance, you have to be wary of certain things, and if you have a spirit, that gives you certain advantages, but also other problems. So it depends. There's pros and cons with both of them, and it ties into undeath in interesting ways. So yeah.
Nice.
And that's an optional rules. I've used them, but they will be optional. If you want to complicate a game for the DM, you can do it, and then by extension for the players. Yeah.
So BB, Len was great at that. Look, the Zombire and the Skelter, just like in L1.
Yeah.
He was great at doing it, and there's no reason you can't go beyond that and give them even more, a little more spell, because they were very entry level. They were like second level spellcasters.
Yeah.
But you can go beyond that. I wouldn't go like and make them archmages or anything, but give them maybe fifth level
undeads
casting.
are some of the most powerful things in the game. Meaning liches are up there as the most powerful monsters ever, and yeah.
Keep your eye on the reverse dungeon.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm talking.
You need powerful players that comes in there to yeah. Can they play liches and stuff?
I can't say, can I?
Oh,
but
they can be
no, they don't.
overlords.
But you're in the ballpark.
Yeah. So
they can recruit a zombie army or something like fun. Yeah.
Like
so
when the chance came, one of them already went necromantic in their choice of magics. So.
I need to. Hopefully, I don't crash the stream here. I gotta. I'm multitasking way too much here. So Tim, give us another one while I'm doing this.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring up the one that we has been beaten to death, but I'm gonna bring it up anyway.
It's not
the mongrels.
Yes.
Of the putrid tongue. And the reason I bring it up is because I've used that a lot. They collect tongues. They have the tongue tool. They animate them on shields to create hard with people they're fighting. But I've also introduced another version of mongrels. Mongrels, there's not just one type.
Oh, jeez, Tim.
So the mongrels that
why would you do that?
ran into the Dark Hand were mongrels of the defiled flesh, where they would use their skin excoriators and chunks of skin off, and then tag the wound with bright pigment so they could mark you, and they would keep the flesh and hang it, and then they would animate it so it seems like it's blowing in the wind, but it's really just sitting there moving. But we have other mongrels that have yet to be seen. Mongrels of the weeping eye.
Oh, you're nuts, dude.
Mongrels of the corrupted bone. My favorite, well, they haven't seen him, but he's already been unleashed. Mongrels. Oh, wait, where is it? Mongrels of the depraved knowing.
The putrid tongue is enough in my instance.
Those are the spellcasting mongrels.
Oh, well, there's spellcasting mongrels in the putrid tongue too.
Yeah, but these are the depraved knowing ones, Jay. They know the higher secrets. And then mongrels of the filthy hands.
Oh man.
They like collecting hands.
They collect hands? Well, at least they're not collecting foreskins or anything like that.
But they also, their hands sweat a greasy substance that causes disease.
So I cast immunity from that, Patrick. So just note, I am immune to any vampire, thromal stuff. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So anyway, the mongrels are just interbred creatures with orcs and other things that have become tribal, and they have like a theme and a trophy collection that they kind of focus on to create fear and horror on their victims and to get, fame. It's kind of a nice way to actually fight characters, defeat them, and not kill them.
That's true. That's true.
But leave a mark.
There's nothing worse than getting your tongue ripped out and then someone using it as a trophy and animating it on their shield. You know, there's nothing worse than that. By the way,
we had a guy, Randaphalus Randaphalus
Yeah.
the Quick was his name. We didn't like this guy, and I've told stories about not like him for a long time. But his guy got taken down and became Randaphalus the Silent because he lost his tongue. Spellcaster.
I'm getting through this. Anna, why don't you bring up one? Luke,
Well, I have
Luke's on a
to
roll.
mention the zombie goats that have been mentioned
Yes.
in chat, and we talked about undead before, and that was a way to introduce something that was fun and challenging and quirky, but also made sense. I needed a history of why these things were created, not just like some weird mechanical contraption from the game. They also needed to make sense why they were created, by who, for what reason, so to speak. So it was a combination of giving something that has had a campaign background, belonged in the world, and interesting mechanical quirks. So the reason behind them was simply that he pushes his priests that are out in the boondocks in occupied lands by simply demanding that they pay tribute to him, so to speak. They should go out and loot their territory and send the proceedings back to Ayus, to Doraka, and up the chain, so to speak. And otherwise they will get replaced, and being replaced, that's kind of not good if you're an Ayusian cleric. So it's a tough environment to work in. So they realized that instead of just slaughtering goats and stuff, they can slaughter half of them and animate the other one, because that way they made sure, because the other problem was that they had a lot of villager of the inhabitants trying to run out and run away. So they couldn't go around guarding everything. So they needed a reliable, scary guardian that was cheap. And then, so it was simply, they slaughtered half the goat, so to speak, took some flesh of it, sent that back, salted it or dried it, whatever, send it back as revenue to up the food chain as taxes. And then the rest became an animated evil goat, that undead goat that went around chasing all the villagers who managed to try and escape, so to speak. So it was an entrepreneurial Ayusian cleric of low level somewhere who came up with the idea, and it kind of spread, and then they became a thing, so to speak, and then they became effective, and then they started realizing that, you can use them in all sorts of reasons, so to speak. So they started making more of them, and some of them got magical abilities. They could cast a few of the innate spells of clerics and stuff. They can scare and do some other stuff. And of course, there's a male variant of the ram that is way more powerful, that can run and gore you. So
I fought them.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell the story. I fought them at Gary Khan, Tower Gygax of Anna. Anna had some crazy shit running around there. Mm-hmm. The spiders, all that. The net.
It was a trap. They set a trap. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, guess who survived? And
yes,
this guy.
He teleport away?
No. With a cleric.
No, he was first. He was in the background healing everybody, and then he was just him left. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got away. I was the only one.
Yeah.
So
you played smart.
I got good news from Luke, and we'll talk about that off camera.
Good.
Also, while we're on, someone applied to Flanish Geographical Society, and I saw it and I approved it. Mike Schley. He wasn't a member. He just yeah. So Mike Schley, I just approved him for Flanish Geographical Society, Anna.
Oh, awesome!
Okay, just letting you know.
Yay!
Yep. So
I need to welcome him. Yeah.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Definitely. So
he should be an honorary member or honorary doctorate
member.
or whatever. Yeah, already. So yeah.
All right, this next one I got set. Okay, so let me go here. Let's go to dungeon, and because a lot of you, why this now? Thanks. Wow, 404. That's an interesting total. Turtle. We'll bump that up there. Almost a hype. There we go. 2. So, and thank you. Really appreciate it. It was very nice comments from Luke there. We'll talk about that off camera. It's good news. So,
ooh, Canadian has a good idea. Do you see that,
A
Anna?
wool cloak made from zombie sheep gives the wearing protection from zombies. Well,
Oh, that is awesome.
That's a
Thank
great
you,
idea, right?
Patrick. That is a great
That is a good
idea.
idea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that is a great
Cheering
idea.
them's a real
I'm
tough.
I'm
chore.
stealing that
Tweet
idea
that
right
one.
away, Patrick. That is
Things are showing
fantastic.
twice, which is really
That
weird.
is so great. Thank you. That is
Cheering them will be real tough.
Yeah, it's really
yeah.
weird.
Mhm. Yeah.
Once
Oh yeah.
again,
Yeah.
I don't know
mhm.
why it's showing them twice. It's bizarre. Let's go. Yeah,
Zombie
almost the height.
sheep. That's the other. We haven't done the zombie sheep yet. There were zombie goats, but we have to have
Smells like
zombie
victory.
sheeps. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're nasty. They're
Well,
thank you for the
if you
follow.
run out of goats and you have more sheep, maybe it's just you got to use what you got.
Well,
Thanks,
exactly.
Rascal.
You use what you got. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Plus, those orc clerics are so dumb they might think sheep are goats.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
they
they
don't-
take whatever four-legged thing that walks
Yeah.
around and do it. So
Yeah.
there's a bunch of other stuff there out there too. So yeah.
They got
Drones
horns.
from
They got
ghouls
horns
could
too.
be part of war
Yep.
drones for undead summoning. That's a good idea.
What about
too.
cows, bulls, and stuff too?
Good idea,
Yeah.
Pat.
mhm.
I like to
They
smear
make
my
good eating
skeletons
though.
with
I
yellow
don't know if they'd
mold.
like
That's
that.
just wrong,
Well,
Death
they
Ray.
take most of the meat off it, so to speak, when they
Death Ray
So it's
just
more
said,
like the leftovers of slaughter they animate and turn into. So yeah.
Thanks, Dan Weirdo. Yeah, this is the last day of the month, everyone. It'll reset, so thank you, everyone. Death Ray in a good
Yeah.
way. I like to smear my skeletons with yellow mold. That's disturbing.
That
man.
is a good idea. That's a great
not a good
idea.
idea. That's an
Yeah.
awful idea.
You
Yeah,
leave
oh,
them
no,
in
it's a
you
good
can just
idea.
leave them in a place where they're inanimated, and then harvest, get mold to grow. So when the party comes in, they don't trigger the mold, but the skeletons run through it, billowing it out.
It's better. Brown mold is better because
Okay. I'm not that
brown mold
knowledgeable about
grows
molds.
with
Yeah.
heat.
Yeah, I know, but you see, the skeletons would
Alright.
get frozen and they just fall apart because it would freeze them and they'd crack and fall apart. The bones would break. They couldn't do it. The temperature would drop so low they get close to.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
This brown mold is so weird. It doesn't even seem
Yeah.
like. I mean, really, how does that work?
Well, how does any monster crazy
Yellow
monster-
mold can be a virulent form that like grows in your lungs fast. I mean, that makes sense.
Okay.
But a mold that just absorbs heat.
All right, we can. There's no need to turn semantics on.
No, but
all the ideas
it's a
are
cool.
nice.
What I like about the idea is that you can combine cool elements
Sure.
together to improve things. Meaning they're
Yeah.
in the game already, so you can just combine things. Like
My theory on the brown mold is that there was a DM that got tired of their Mage Fireball and stuff and figured, you know what? I'm going to show them. And he created some sort of weirdo thing instead of managing it differently and use that as a way to get him. When all he could have done is just make an illusionary room. So when he fireballed, it just blew back on him and they all got fried.
Who's the DM that uses brown mold more than anyone else in the community?
I've seen it in a lot of adventures, but I don't know who wrote it.
Carlos. He loves brown mold.
He loves brown mold. It's like nature's air conditioning. Huh?
Yes. Yellow mold and flour. That's disturbing.
Oh yeah, and then you can feed it to people. Is that what he's trying to say?
I don't know. Bones? I'm not sure. All right. My favorite monster of all time, the Rakshasa. I always want to share this. I want to share this article because it's by the late departed great author Scott Benny, who is really responsible for, Kargath and a lot of other things that we know of. So this takes Rakshasas to a new level, and not that they need to go to a higher level, but they do because just so. Yeah, I know.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah. I love Rakshasas. So,
they're really like demons, kind of.
Well, yeah, they kind of are, but yeah.
The cultural.
Let's just pump it up to Rakshasa Knights, Rakshasa Lords, and even talks about Ravana, the king of Rakshasa, and
Why are they all lawful evil?
I don't know because
Rakshasas are chaotic evil.
Because you can ask Scott Benny. How's that? Oh no, you can't. So you can change them to chaotic evil. I don't care. Yeah. So, but it's awesome. And it gets like here, magic weapons below +4 do half damage, so it really pumps these things up even further.
What about the blessed bolt, Jay? What does that do?
So here on the Rakshasa Lord, a bolt blessed by a good cleric of 8th level or higher will kill a lord. There you go. See? So you can still do that.
All right.
So, but you gotta have a higher blessed ones.
Right.
Knights and lords. Yeah, that's exactly it. Knights and lords are low. But it's another cool thing that if you just don't want to go, oh, it's a normal Rakshasa, up it, pump it up.
The thing is, too, it could be a major NPC in a game and no one knows.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you think, oh, this, we know how to deal with it in the last minute.
In fact, I'll say this. One of my major NPCs in my campaign is a Rakshasa right now.
I knew Lord Gazumba was acting weird.
No. But there is
just like you, Jay.
There is one. Maybe good, maybe evil, but there is one. Yep. That's been a Rakshasa a long time. So, yep. So pump up your Rakshasa. And this one's from.
So what type of monsters would they fall under? Rakshasas? What
they're
are
their own category.
Okay.
The Rakshasas are their own category. You can call them
kind
a
of
demon.
A spirit, though.
Thank you for the hype train, everyone. What's that?
They're kind of a spirit.
Kind of, yeah. They're malevolent spirits. Yeah.
Okay. Benevolent. Okay.
Malevolent.
Malevolent.
Okay. Malevolent spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That take the form of
ESP and polymorph or illusion.
Yeah. Are they coming from the outer plane somewhere or something? Are they like a form of fiend of some
India.
sort?
I think they come from India.
Well,
yeah, but in the real world, but in D&D terms, so to speak.
Let me see where Ravana. It says what plane Ravana's on.
Nirvana is
it's Ravana the king. The king. Ravana the king. I was just curious if there was a plane. It says a Karen. So it comes from one of the planes.
So it's a form of fiend of some sort.
I also checked for old school essentials. Did you? Wow, that's awesome, man. That is awesome. So they have them in old school essentials too. That is fantastic. If you want to mass biolab, if you want to link a picture somewhere that's on a site or whatever, please, you're more than welcome to. That'd be cool.
I think for lower level parties, an ogre magi can summon the same sort of horror because they're not as high powered, but they have similar abilities, polymorph and some magical abilities. Not quite as amped
and they regenerate.
Up. Yeah, and they can be really scary, but they can polymorph into a humanoid type shape, so you don't know what you're dealing with. And they have some magical abilities, but they're not Rakshasa or so.
They're the higher end of bad.
Yeah.
They are.
That's a good bridge. Bad guy.
Well, I say the bridge goes this way: ogre mage with a polymorph, then entry level demons, then Rakshasa, then the higher level demons.
Yeah, but the ogre magi is a little bit more troublesome because of his intelligence. Yeah. Same with the Rakshasa; their intelligence makes them extra dangerous.
Yeah.
Some of the low level demons are just dumb.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I use ogre magi all the time. I also have created. Here's another one. So if you go to Fiend Folio with the Ogrillan, I have an Ogrillan mage now too. If there's an ogre mage, then there's a Ogrillan mage. So they have lesser ability power. So they don't have an 8/8 cold ray like they have, I think, 6/8 or whatever it was, cold ray, lesser. But they have some abilities that, and I was like, it just makes sense that's going to kind of exist in my game. And they're nowhere near as powerful as an ogre mage, but it's good
for
bridge.
The goose is good for the magi.
That's right. It's a good bridge. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's a good one too. Yeah.
Thank you.
I wish I had thought of that.
Right. Well, there you go. And a lot of you will realize, oh my God, Jay, you took a lot of stuff from Tim's thoughts. I have. I give him credit for it. Every time I play that accidentally hit that button and show the Mongrels of the Putrid Tongue vid. So, although I've taken it one step further with the breeding program.
Yes, Jay's gotten a weird that way.
Yeah, ogre magi. You got to remember the geek that them polymorphing into a human to be an advisor to some lord or noble. I mean, you could really do a
There's-
world of hurt. with
There's
those
at least
imaginary.
there's at least one
Thanks,
that I know
Michael.
of in the city state. In the city state, there's one there, and walking amongst people, befriending people,
Mhm.
inviting them for dinner, and then eating them for dinner.
Perfect. As opposed to, you
It's
know,
right in.
as opposed to a standard, oh, it's a vampire.
And characters through different games in the city state have rubbed shoulders with him and never knew.
Yeah, probably my characters too.
I
Probably
can't
mine.
cite an exact, but probably.
Yep. Now, another book which has something that was added on to by James Jacobs is, and I'll share this one, this is in GREYHAWK Adventures. So when we go to, you know, two of my favorite monsters of all time are in this book. One being Sword Race, right? But the other monster, what page are these on? I always forget. 33 is the drowned, right? Sea zombies, the drowned ones. They're unturnable. They're nasty, right? They move very fast underwater. They do a lot of damage. They can give you disease. But if you read the fine print in here, right?
Aren't they in Minecraft too?
Aren't they in Minecraft?
Yeah.
Maybe. Where does it say it? They also can be clerics, right? There's a 50% chance that each round one encounter there's a cleric of what level 1 to 4. Well, James Jacobs in that Tamara's Fate, one of the ones that is part of Ghost of Saltmarsh got added in that he did, the one on the island. He took and made assassins and mages for him. That didn't exist before. So now and I think he does, I don't know if he calls them drowned ones or sea zombies in that adventure, but he actually expanded on them, and so I have too. You know, so now they're part of my base thing. Oh, if it's good for James Jacobs, it's good enough for me, right? So yeah, so and they're great because they're unturnable, undead, which is I always like that. So just another good one there to that has been tweaked by. It looks like it stopped raining here, Tim. I'm not sure about where you live. Let me see here.
No, it was raining first when I was over visiting my folks in PA, and it was raining hard there, and then it let up and then rained.
That's a cool pick. I see it. I see it on the third row down, man. The Ogre Mage. That's I see the Ogre Mage there. I'm looking for. Wow, that's awesome stuff, man. Very cool. I followed. Appreciate that link. Very, very cool. All right, Anna, what do you got?
Let's see here. I was thinking I've divided up the fiends in a little bit more categories. So depending on there are certain things that are coming from like demon lords and others who are simply descendants or based on original creatures that come from the real world, so to speak, and because they are like they're semi-real, they're spiritual creatures, so they're semi-real. But then there are creatures that are like the Bebeliths and others. They come from the abyss, so they have no real semblance to real creatures. Meaning a lot of demon lords and stuff, they have 2 legs, 2 arms and stuff. So they were once humans dreamt them up, or they're created by them, or something like that. So then you have the really nasty, scary abyssal fauna, so to speak, or flora in that sense, like Bebeliths and others who come from there. And there I've invented some more similar ones that kind of fit into the, for instance, abyssal plants. They're plants because they look more like vegetation. And my inspiration, I needed them when I created the Grasset has his Mesafragdun, his castle, so to speak, that is on his hold. He has gardens with evil plants in them around that are his hunting grounds as a moat around them. And so I needed to invent those plants, so to speak. So they are a form of abyssal vegetation that kind of instead of there's no sunlight, so they have to get their feed from other stuff, so to speak. So they suck in whatever life force they can find anywhere. So they are kind of they eat living things in various forms, so to speak, and they grow slowly, but they're really hard to kill. And then you have other creatures who eat these plants, and bebeliths and others are that type of creatures. They are native. They're the herbivores of the abyss, and they're not like eating grass. They're eating these plants, which are really, really nasty and so on. So I started to build like a fiendish ecosystem with creatures that exist from there. They're really, really nasty, and you can't gate them into the prime material plane, and they become really nasty. But the thing is that they can't survive long term, so that's why they're not taken over. But you can have them like they're small bebeliths, and then they're bigger and bigger, and they're like spidery creatures, and they need these legs and stuff in order to, because the plants are nasty. So in order to eat them, you need to be really nasty yourself. But it also means that they are terrifying monsters because they will eat anything else that comes their way, so to speak. So
Yuck.
So and the bebelith is a 3rd edition. I think they're 3rd edition. Maybe they came to be in 2nd edition.
No,
but
you know what? You know where there's a Babelith in?
Yep.
Return of the Ape.
Yeah. So they've been
It's
around
like
for a long
Jalarzi's
time.
Tower.
Yeah. Yeah, and they evolved, so to speak,
one of our
become like they're like an abyssal spidery creature, so to speak, and I kind of evolved them from there to be a truly abyssal creature that comes with the ecosystem from there, and they come from small ones, and they can be bigger and bigger and bigger. So yeah.
Are they like the big spidery thing from Stranger Things?
Yeah. Some of them can be enormous, so to speak. There's no limit to how big they can be, more than something will kill them eventually, because they are become powerful or become a nuisance, so to speak. So and Grast, he likes to hunt them. So he has like a garden out with a lot of plants that he has these kind of other monsters, and he hunts them as a way to stay fit.
Yeah,
exactly. You have to stay fit, so to speak. So he goes, and they're also good because they eat adventurers and other nasty little annoying critters that wants to come in. So there you have it. So I try to develop. So there are like different versions of this and different sizes and stuff. So I've taken the bebelith from the small ones that are like a CR3 or CR2, really tiny ones that are only like 5 feet big, to the really big ones that are like 60 or 80 or 100 feet wide and between their legs, and really big and nasty and hard to kill. So they come in different size varieties, and there are a few different species, so to speak, if you can talk about species, and so on. So that is something I think you can tweak critters to fit your stories, the environments you want to have, and give them a home in your world, so to speak, in your campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And I think so and they should be interesting both mechanically and thematically and story wise. And for me, I think those are equally important. They should complement each other. They should monsters should come with a story and not just a bunch of mechanics.
I agree, but sometimes you just gotta throw something at you guys.
Okay.
No, Jay, you mean they have a story that no one knows yet?
Well, that's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that sounds better that way.
Yeah, but that's my critique to some of these things that show up in some games that are just there, meaning, you have a fire variant, an acid variant, and so on and so forth. In some monsters, that might be like a wizard who animates things. They might make a broom or whatever it is they animate and make a fire version or acid. Then it makes sense, but then it should come with a story. But if it's a natural creature of some sort, then they should be more than their mechanics, so to speak. Yeah.
Understood. So, a couple from me here. I'm going to go to another article, and once again, I didn't pull up the damn. These are both August 97. Dragon 238. Let me see if I have that one on my machine real quick, and then I can bring it up.
You mentioned the word dragons, and I got
Dragon Dragon Magazine. I'm staying away from. Yes, I'm staying away from.
Okay, staying away from dragons. That's good. See, I've stayed away from dragons too. So
for the
far.
most, for the most part, you and Tim have. It's. I know it's.
I had 4 dragons in my game. Come on.
Well, it was. Yeah. No, you had 5, and I.
Yeah, that's right. Well, one I invented. Yeah.
You did. That was nasty, and had to single-handedly kill 4 of them. Just kidding. I do have it.
You could have single-handedly.
I know. The character's so nasty, but it's okay. It's part of adventuring for 35
But
years.
last time you were like, and there were people that were chomping at the bit to see fighting.
Yeah, they were. It was fun. All right, here we
From
go.
last time.
Dragon 238, August of 1997. I think we're going to get 2 articles out of this one. We're going to get 2 articles out of this one. All right. Really good stuff in this that I've used forever. Spawn of the Sewers is one of them. And there's Return of the Wizards 3 in here and some good artwork. So this is 97. I was married a whole year at this point, Tim. Can you imagine that? You were married a lot longer than me.
Wow.
So, Mommy Dearest. That sounds just disturbing. What are they doing? Here they are. Page 68 and page 84. So let's go to page 68. Get your monsters. Give them. How many people are going through like sewers in their campaign? Like going through the GREYHAWK sewers or going through any city.
That's horrible.
Yeah, we need to do that in Altamira too. I guarantee you're going to see some of these in Altamira as well. And here we go. Spawn of the Sewers.
Dysentery.
No, worse.
Cholera.
I killed your dad. I killed Abdul with one of these once.
You killed what?
Your father's character Abdul once with one of these creatures I'm about to show. Yeah. Sorry for the exposure you'll have to endure. Here the directors. We're going to 4 white
necromantic sludge. What's that?
Well, necromantic sludge. I wonder what that does. A black puddle of vile goo, an accidental byproduct by the necromancer's experiments in the pursuit of extended existence. Rather than creating potions that could transform into undying lich, the necromancer ended up with this foul mess, which he dumped into this sewer. So there you go. So these things drain, right? All sorts of yes. It also reflects spells. That's awesome. That's disgusting, right?
All you need is pour some bleach down there.
Plague moths. Another good one. Yeah, that's a good one too.
Luckily, moths don't live that long. So
they're blood drinkers. Kind of like sturges. Albino crocodile. This is one of my favorites. I love this. Take a croc. This is in real life. People throw crocs down the toilet all the time, and they turn out to be these monsters in sewers, right? Even in real life. So give yourself an albino crocodile, and I think they're immune to all spell effects.
Oh, yeah. What's the explanation for that?
Albino crocodiles are descended from the pets of Master Wizard who presided over the school decades ago. The necromancer made a token attempts to hunt them down. The pollution from the necromancer's experiments has altered the crocodiles subtly, giving them a special resistance to magic. Don't tell me you wouldn't do this stuff. I don't want to hear it.
I would just put regular crocodiles you don't know about that hit you in a deep water area and then drag you down.
Water cat's cool. Here's my favorite.
I already tried drowning you once.
I know. Here's the Lich's Blood. This is my favorite. This is what I killed Abdul with. So, the Lich's Blood is an artificial monster created by the necromancer's final experiment. Fittingly, the first monster slew its maker before slinking off to find more of its kind.
How can a lich have blood? I mean,
thus, the creation is a menace to all wizards. Lich's Blood looks like a pool of animated blood. It slowly oozes or drips around, searching for wizards or magical items. Basically, it coats them, suffocates them, and drains their magic.
Yeah, but I mean, a lich is like is dried and emaciated and turning into like a. What kind of blood does he have?
It's called Lich's Blood. It was a necromancer. It wasn't a lich. It was a necromancer. Call it Lich's Blood. See, Tim doesn't like it when people come out with more devious ideas than he does. So there you go. That's Lich's Blood. So they couldn't figure out what to do to this when it attacked Abdul all those years ago. Look, each round the victim is coded. He must save his spells as 1d4 spells from his memory, starting with his highest level memorized. Even after the victim is devoid of spells, Lich's Blood continues to code him, draining every last bit of magic from his body. Yes. Isn't that awesome? It's an awesome creature. I'll leverage it through you. So
it just seems random.
It doesn't. It was created. I love that it was created. These are created by necromancers who screwed up, because necromancers are always screwing things up. So I think it's awesome. Let's go to the next article. You can not like them all you want, but I've seen what you've done. So It's
I'm so nice, Jay.
yeah, yeah. All right, the other mummies.
Oh,
Why just have an Egyptian style mummy wrapped up, walking around,
right.
going coin, coin, like in Scooby Doo, right? We don't need
They weren't
that, right?
they weren't the only ones to do mummies.
Right.
I
They-
was terrified of that mummy when I was like 4 years old.
that Scooby Doo mummy.
Oh yeah, I was terrified of Scooby Doo when I was like 5 years old or something. Yeah, so they showed them early morning during the Christmas leave when I was like 5, 6 years old. I was
Well-
terrified of it. When they ran, I was like, I was sitting up.
Yeah, they're trying to
I
get
was
the-
terrified of it.
Anna, we
was-
finally gotten to the bottom of Anna's.
Yeah, oh yeah, I was I was terrified of Scooby Doo when they were. I think I was about 5 years old. We got a color television for the first time too, and
It was in
I was
English.
Yeah, it was English with no. They had, I think they have
Subtitles?
dubbed it. So yeah, no, they didn't have subtitles.
Oh,
Kids'
they dubbed
things were dubbed, so they were speaking Swedish. I think yeah, they had Swedish voices.
It's
so
more
they
terrifying in
dubbed it.
Swedish.
No. Well, it was. I think it was. Yeah. Later on, they normally when they show cartoons,
Johnny Quest
American
one, yeah,
cartoon,
that's
foreign
true, Troy.
cartoons, when they show them on TV, they usually have them. If it's for kids below 12, they are dubbed, and for above, they are subtitled. If you see Disney movies and animated movies, they usually have both versions. So you can choose when you go to a cinema, you go to one show, then you can see it with the Swedish dubbed ones, but mostly, but that's only for kids. And even they come original with subtitles if you want to, so you can choose. And all the ones that are aimed for kids about 12, then they're always originally with subtitles. Yeah.
This is my favorite mummy out of all of them, and this makes
Bog
sense.
mummies.
In
Yes.
peat, because people got buried in peat way
Yeah.
back in the
That's
old
what I was
days.
thinking.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yep.
They're finding them still in Florida. They're finding, bodies going back,
Yep.
a
And-
long thousands of
Florida?
years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And mummies are interesting because they can be both man-made, so to speak. They can be part of a burial ritual or something, but they can also be made by nature, meaning in deserts, people who die, they get so dried that they become mummies that way, or you fall into a bog and you never rot, so you become a bog mummy. So yeah.
Or
I've-
freeze dried if it's cold.
But yeah, yeah, and that was another thing that terrified me. We went to a museum when I was like 4, 5, 6 years old. They had a bog mummy, and I was terrified of, and the twisted skull that was grinning in there. I was terrified of it.
I think this one's
yeah.
immune to fire because it's been in the bog.
Yep.
So Jeff, you made a funny joke. Walt has an archer ranger named Pete
Yeah.
Moss.
Yeah.
He's got
Okay.
3 sons named Compost, Mulch. Who am I missing?
Yeah.
And the latest one, I forget the latest one's name. Maybe if Bill's on, he'll know it still.
Yep.
But yeah, so yeah. But, all right, so let's see about these. The bog mummy is created through an intricate set of events. The death that causes one is never natural. They're product of a ritual killing. Ugh.
Yep.
So
And that's also because in real life, a lot of the bog
Yeah.
mummies they found are probably people who were executed,
right.
because there was a way of executing them was to make sure they buried them in the bog.
There's a
so to
famous
speak.
one who still has had the rope around his neck.
Yep. Yep.
They strangled
Uh,
him and dumped him in the bog.
Yep,
Yeah.
there's several both in Sweden, Norway, and Denmark. There's several ones.
So well preserved, they could tell what his last meal was.
Exactly, they can. Yeah, and what color of hair they had and stuff
Yeah,
too.
when they first found it, it looks, aside from the coloration from the tannic acid, they were like, they called the police.
Oh yeah, because they thought there was
Does it look
someone
like a
who died
homicide?
decades ago or years
Yeah,
ago, rather
that's cool,
than
Rascal.
century 500, 600, or 1,000 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So it says the bog mummy's eyeless and it's immune. Blunt weapons do nothing. Thrusting, it does half. Water has no adverse effects, so that's like cold spells. Also, fire does either half or none if they save. So there you go. Now, I had a bog mummy in an adventure.
Just raised dead.
Set to screw them up. And one of Bill's characters had a frickin' Mesa disruption. Yeah, that was. But you'll see a bog mummy here and there in my game.
Yeah.
It's a great upgrade. And then there's an ice mummy, which makes sense in the permafrost, in real day and in the Arctic area. I mean, another good one.
They don't carry that sort of disease. That's only associated with the dry
glacier.
wrapped one, right?
Right. I don't think this one is diseased.
That's good.
Yeah.
You could change
Well,
the
no.
name.
Look, its fists also can do damage to the body as per staff of withering. There you go. So that's another
Well,
good one, too.
damage. So it's 2 to 5.
No, it's 1 to 12.
That's not a staff of withering.
No, that's the damage of its fist. 1 to 12 plus staff of withering effect.
Well, which one? There's like 3 different charges. One is 2 to 5 for your touch. Then there's one that ages you 10 years, right?
No,
And then
I
there's
think it's withering a limb. Withers a limb.
there's only one.
So, you ask questions. You can make it anything you want. Why would it do 2 to 5 points of damage?
Oh, I
if it
will.
charges 1 to 12? Yeah. So there you go. So there's some other effects there. Gotcha, Enoch.
Which one did the withering?
Oh, the ice mummy. The bog mummy just suffocates you, chokes you, but still it does nasty down. I'm just saying. Here's 2 mummies have fun with. They're way better than the standard mummy.
Yeah.
Right? That you don't need to create. They're here. So, the Dragon magazines and Dungeon magazines are such great, and you all know this. They're such great resources. You can find so many wonderful things. All right, Tim, what do you got next for us? Oh my God, it's 20 and 9 already. Where'd the time
Well,
go?
there is something that there was a neat confluence of terms for a creature that actually one I had come up with in college that for the city state campaign because that was the same world I used in college, and then it also ran across the term spelled differently, pronounced the same that Gary Gygax had kind of said, described what it was because people didn't know what it was. In my world, it's spelled THU with a little accent, LL, fool.
Right.
They're fools. You haven't run into them yet. But the Thule, THOUL,
right,
was in a published thing. And someone said, well, what's a Thule?
It's a ghoul
And he said, it's a cross between a hobgoblin,
right,
a ghoul, and a troll.
right.
Oh, that sounds
So
It's
it's
actually
really
published
cool.
in an adventure.
Right. It's paralyzing.
Yeah, yeah.
It paralyzes. It regenerates 1 hit point around.
Yeah.
So I was like, interesting.
Can someone? Yeah, it's in basic. The Thule.
So I had a very serious, humanoid type critter that I called Fools, and they hadn't been introduced yet. And then I came across that, and I'm like, perfect.
So wait a minute. It's hobgoblin,
Ghoul,
and troll. So it's not a mongrel because there's no work in it.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And they could hang out with mongrels, I guess, but it depends on how they were blended. I don't know how that is. And I don't know if that's the plan for it or whatever.
It's cool.
Or if it was a typo. Should have been a ghoul and
So and then that might be how it
what
wants
it was.
to,
I don't know.
yeah, comes up, and then someone writes a story for the typo, and here we go. Yeah.
There's a lot of that,
Yeah.
where you get a typo in something and you're like, whoa, I like it better with the typo.
I like that idea of
It's good on.
Strong. They look like hobgoblins, like the strong hobgoblins that have like a sort of, is it war paint that makes them look deathly, or is it just they're naturally deathly? And then I would have them fight mostly weaponless. And if you have some sort of grapple mechanic, I would incorporate that heavily into it and make them some sort of jiu-jitsu grappling type person that likes to choke their enemies to death because they paralyzed. So every round you're in contact, they'd have to be saving versus paralyzation.
Cool.
And I can also see that some monsters, instead of being scared of undeath, they might embrace it. So
Right.
they might, when you grow up, you can become a vampire or undeath. They can see it as a ritual to become adult and powerful, but they
Like the necromongers.
Exactly, but on the other hand, culturally, they probably need to make it sure that it's only the adults because they want offspring. So they want to make sure that once you squirted out a few kids and make sure that you grown the clan, then you can become an adult and go through the ritual or something and become undead of some sort or whatever it is, vampirism or some other stuff, and you can have, so the adults are undead ones, or a certain class, the real powerful ones. Once you become a real cool warrior, you can go through the ritual and become the best ones, and or tribal warriors, and they might be, or protectors, or whatever it is. Meaning undeath doesn't necessarily needs to be seen as a curse. It can be seen as something, a goal to aspire to culturally as well, by somewhat trolls, or even the humanoid cult, or human cult, or whatever, so to speak. Any smart, intelligent, wise enough monster with a culture can embrace weird things like that and become, and see it as a benefit rather than as a curse or something
Partial
negative.
undeath.
Yeah, that too. So you can play with themes like that in your game and make it fun. A cult of some sort, or a whole sort of a breed of monsters can embrace something like that, or some other form, so to speak, that transform themselves in magical ways, or some other stuff, as a way of becoming powerful, having cool, be the protectors, or higher class, or whatever it is, so to speak. Class in like cultural society, not in D&D mechanics terms.
I'm being told the Thule is in the Mulve Basic set.
Okay. Yeah.
Something that, yeah.
Yeah, I never used them, so I think I've heard,
I snipped it, and so I have it saved.
Right, because you saw
Yep.
it somewhere that someone referred it, and boom, so it's perfect.
Yep.
Very cool.
I also have a critter. I did the same thing. I have a paper that says mongrel monsters. When I come across them, I like throw them in that document. One of them was the precursor adventure I ran with Alan and Patrick. That wasn't streamed, was they ran into a troll Otyug. So somebody had mixed a troll with an Otyug.
I can see that though. That's cool.
Yeah.
And so it would regenerate.
Yeah.
And it was horrible. Yeah.
That's great, putting up against two characters. That's you're a nice guy.
Well, Safra was okay. They did all right.
So another quick article. This one's from Footprints, and this helped me flesh out my elementalists. We all know, and this is a good idea. There's all different. There's air, earth, fire, and water elementals, but this is from John. Anyone know John Paquette? It's called the Elemental Stalkers. So basically, take an invisible stalker, which is air, right? I think of make up all the other elements. So you got horn stalker, earth, tentacled stalker, water, and then phantom stalker, is that fire? That's fire. Phantom stalker is fire. And there you go, and you have them all. And then you can convert them back and take the invisible stalker spell and just turn it into the other elemental ones. You have added spells for each element. But you could have one of those things, a horn stalker wandering around, just like an invisible stalker that's free. You could also have them freed from servitude from that mage, just like you would invisible stalker. So Mentor box set was your first, but the Holmes was. Holmes goes back to 78, and that's where I started. That's where I started. So, yeah, it's all good though. Anna, what do you got here to finish this up here? As we're getting close. Tonight flew by.
Yeah. I was going to say, this is something it's fun, and it can be a little bit frustrating, but it's fun, rewarding, and your players will often love this stuff and fear it. They will probably love and be scared and irritated at the same time. So it can be very rewarding as a DM. And if you feel powerless, invent some cool shit to throw at the players or at the characters. So that's the thing. But make it make sense in your world. That's my advice. It's don't limit yourself, but it needs to come with the story and belong in the world, but it can be damn powerful and especially it doesn't need to be balanced. You can throw really cool stuff in there that can upset things and make have the characters have to run and flee, so to speak. And yeah, so not every, but also some things should just be there for flavor. They should not be there to kill the characters. They're just there because it's there in the real world. So some monsters can be fun, silly, and so on, but they can be there just for for a thing. Many low-level characters. You can have ordinary goats who are just crazy about going about kicking butts, literally kicking butts, or something like that. So you can have that. That could be. It doesn't need to be super out of the ordinary, so to speak. It can be, and also figure out how to make common folks, how to use them as monsters. What about a mob of angry farmers who think that are, or people that are hungry, and here comes adventurers and with money and food or whatever, and so on, that they might simply be angry and mobby. So think about how playing them, and with the simplest of tools, and just pitchforks and or spades or whatever. So even the simplest things you need to kind of figure out how to play very simple monsters and use them well, so to speak.
Tim, you got something you would like to close out with?
Yeah, I would like to close out with my special jelly that I made.
Oh, the mediocre jelly.
Mediocre jelly.
Oh,
So
tell the story.
You have created by a wizard, of course, or imbued. Jelly has been adjusted. So if they have high stats, it'll absorb their stats. And if they have really low stats, it could actually increase them. So, to that median sort of level, between 9 and 12. Or
so if they have 6 intelligence, they could end up having 9
they could get smarter.
12,
yeah, because they're terrible. They're not mediocre. So it would raise them into the mediocre status. But if they're like super strong and they have too many stats, and you're like, oh, you didn't really roll that. I just fell into a mediocre jelly.
Thank you, Scorpion himself, for the follow. Yeah, so basically, this is Tim's attempt to get that in the 90s, to take care of the min-max / I rolled 3 18s in my character generation. I did it at home guy. So yeah, and
it worked great.
Yeah, it did. Mediocre jelly. Yeah, you got it. It's You like that? You like that, Mike? Yeah,
it works great. Yeah, and it's not super powerful. They can kill it, but you're not getting that stat back,
Tim the Enchanter needs to fall into a vat of that, according to Troy. That's not nice, Troy.
That's hurtful.
It's hurtful. Awesome there, Patrick. So
how do you know he didn't invent it?
Yeah. See. So, as I said, playing yesterday morning, with Tim DMing, you need to show no fear, and if your character doesn't show fear, then it kind of I got breathed. How many times I got breathed? I got breathed on like 3-4 times.
I think you got breathed on. I think it was only twice.
It was only twice. Yeah. So I got.
Yeah. But the bad one was the adult, the old male.
Yeah, it was, but it was fun. I had a lot of fun. Can't wait for it in a couple weeks. But we got so much other great things going on before that. So I had a final wrap up one that I can't even remember. So just note, you can always throw a little, this is just an example, a dumb example, but let's just throw this out there. Curtis knows this. One of my, besides the Rakshasa, and Tim loves these too, one of my favorite monsters of all time is the Juggernaut, right? In the Mimic class, it first appears in Temple of Elemental Evil, and you actually gave the Land Dragon the same effect that this has, and that's 10 to 100 points of damage, of trample damage. So why not throw in, this one has an acid resistance because of the wizard messing around with it, or lightning, or some kind of, you can always do that with a creature. And you don't need to explain yourself when the characters go, well, that should have worked. And you're like, no. And that's why you have this emote when he
was constructing it, he added a base to it. So when they throw an acid on it, it counteracts it.
Yes. And that's why you have the no, just no emotes right there. No, just no, what you say goes. I wouldn't make it up on the spot, but if I always have it in my notes. Look, this is a special ability, special effect. Boom, boom.
The best Juggernauts are the ones that are invisible.
That's just wrong, man.
I hear something coming.
All right. So, trivia question. Low-level monster that would be 9th for a party of 9th level or under. No demons, none of that stuff. What is the nastiest, most resistant monster there is? Let's see
Juju
what the
zombie.
audience says.
Juju zombie.
Oh, jeez, Tim, you're just too good. Juju zombies.
Oh, I got it right.
Yeah, Nilbogs. Yeah, Nilbogs though. That's true too, Mike.
Or
But
Nilbogs or no box, and yeah.
Nilbogs are goblins that are goblins that have been like are bizarre world goblins.
Well, you heal them, so
Yeah.
so that way they.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
the only
rock
way
grubs. Now, rock
of
grubs
damaging them.
you can just fire rock grubs. Nilbogs,
Okay.
you have to heal them to kill them.
You said ninth level. You said ninth level.
Yeah, I'm just talking about like just in general.
I thought Juju zombies were actually they're a little underpowered for ninth.
I should have said 6th or 7th or whatever, but they attack as 6th monsters. They're immune to magic missile. They're immune to fire. They're immune to cold. They take half damage from most all weapons, no damage from most weapons, half damage from cleaving weapons. It's disgusting.
They're bad
immune
Juju.
to lightning. Or they take half damage from lightning. It's freaking crazy on Juju zombies. So just note that. You'll see them a lot in my camp. And Juju zombies are humans or creatures that have been energy drained. That were at one time, they're not animated zombies. They're people that were actually drained of life existence. So yellow musk creepers are good too. But yellow musk creeper zombies, man, for a little weak. A hair. They should be powered up a little bit more. The zombies usually just wander off to create other yellow musk creepers. The creeper itself is nasty. The problem with the creeper is, if you know where it is, you just stay at range and just destroy it at range. There's not a thing they can do about it, right? The creeper, the bulb, and then you can destroy the bulb afterwards. So, look at that, the tuna fish. That's the biggest tuna fish we have ever seen there, Patrick. Thanks. They can use crossbows and bows too. They can use weapons. Yes, they can. Yes, they can, Curtis. They can use weapons. I agree. So that was just my opinion too. So let's wrap this up and then we'll do a bunch. We got a bunch of shout outs tonight. So Anna, what are your thoughts? Fun discussion.
This is a really important thing, and as soon as when you run DM, and if you start running more than just pre-made adventures, then you need to delve into monster tweak or design them from the ground up, but usually tweak them. You can reskin them, you can just change features or give them some special abilities or something. So yeah, you can go from the tiniest tweaks to whole new designs.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Like,
and you can also change existing adventures too.
Oh yeah.
Here and there. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
Yep. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah. Well, part of the reason grizzly bears are so big is because they have that high protein diet of all that salmon. Well, what if you have a humanoid tribe that's usually small and puny, but they have a super awesome diet based on where they're at, you know, and now you can adjust them, and you don't even have to do much. You can just what would happen to a culture where they don't need to go steal food from everyone else, but they just thrive in an area. But now they're way more dangerous and less predictable.
Yeah,
that's a good point, man. I never even thought of it that way, but that's a good point. And you can create elite. That's how you create elite troops of existing.
The whole tribe is very.
The whole tribe is very nasty.
They got plenty of fish oil, and they have that rich salmon diet.
Fish oil. I need to. Yeah. Krill. Right? Is that it?
Krill oil is
krill oil. Yeah.
You don't get fish burps. Fish oil makes you taste it sometimes. But krill oil doesn't. So.
Okay. Krill oil. That's the one, right? That's the one to take. So I'm just prepping up something here. Of course it did that. So I hope you enjoyed this discussion. We can always go more into depth, but just note we're always trying to come from the direction of what do I need to do to flavor up my GREYHAWK? And the answer to that is, make it your own, and there's simple ways of doing that. Create a creature, create like, wow. And my Horn Society got the hobgoblins have this death unit, and there's 100 of them, and they go and they're all left-handed, and they are the nastiest. I'm just using that as an example, just because that's a big thing in the Greek times. You know, they couldn't stop left-handed spearmen because of the way they threw them. Right, so just all sorts of weird. You could do all sorts of crazy things, but make it your own. Army Rangers. Well, yeah, Tim will Tim and Stronghold Tim will be on that, and a lot of other people. How to spice up Greyhawk. So that's what I like to see is come up with some ideas, have fun with it, and it's your game, so don't worry about. If your players say you can't do that, just say yeah, I can. I can do whatever I want, and then you crushing fist them. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Tim didn't crushing fist anyone. So Tim, did you expect me to kill that guy? Kaywood, did you expect me to?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
I knew for a fact you were absolutely going to kill him. Well, I would have said 99%. You know why?
Yes.
Because the Overlord told you to.
Yep.
You
I've run
didn't
the
have
fog.
a dungeon. You didn't have a
Harvey.
dungeon to put him in.
Yep. Absolutely. 100%.
Plus, E also was kind of an. I made it easy to. I made him easy to kill. I mean, he's an incompetent.
Cool. Thank you. Blob of Flesh Shiver. There's a new monster for you. So what? A blob of Flesh Shiver.
It's a blob that just shakes because it's cold.
Oh. Flesh Shiver, though, put together as
Is
one
that
word,
spell?
is a spell. So that's why I was like, huh. That's an Ed spell, too.
I think it would
There
be
you have
better
another.
to.
Oh, sorry.
Good, Anna.
I was going to say there you have another good source for tweaking monsters, the spell list.
Oh, my God, yeah.
That's one of the things you should dive into the spells, and then you should look at how can I combine a creature with a spell
Great
for some
spells.
reason, and then you can
That
think
makes
of
sense.
is it just something that a weird wizard or a cleric have created for religious reasons or just for magical reasons or whatever, or is it something that could have happened naturally? A creature could have acquired that magical abilities or something, and then tweak it around one of those themes, so to speak.
The cult that worships the devourer in the swamp, they can get blessings from the great maw and develop this, a big sore, big zit pussy thing that when they pop it, it manifests the magical ability of the gift.
Yeah, that's a great way of doing it. Yep.
See, I would give that the envelope or the thing that can absorb individuals. I give that the Flesh Shiver ability. That big malleable flesh.
Oh, it
thing
just like it just covers them, sinks into them,
but when
and
it
breaks the
attacks,
bones.
it would break a bone. Yeah.
I think it's a great magic item, a staff of Flesh Shiver. So every time it hits, you roll to see if it breaks.
Well, that's a good idea too. I'll just give it to my PCs and say use only evil, and then I never have to give it to a player character.
Yeah, it's evil, of course. Yeah.
So let's shout out here, Tim. Tim, what are you doing the next 3 weekends?
Wow, I'm gonna be gaming. So we're getting the band back together, the Underdogs, Saturday.
That's good. Are they down south still?
Yes.
Keep? Okay.
It's we're continuing. People are strange when you're a stranger.
Okay, good. I'll be producing it, so you may hear my voice in the background.
Yeah. And
9 a.m. Saturday, right?
Yes.
9 a.m. Saturday.
I thought we were going to attack at dawn, but you want to make it 9? Okay.
Oh, you want to make it 8? No, 9 a.m.
I said at dawn. I was just kidding.
Yeah, 9. Yeah. Also show bottom. Oh.
And then after that, it's the 24-hour. Next week, after that week, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Yeah. And then the week after that,
the 20th, the City State again.
More City State with myself, Patrick, and Coco, and if any of the others. Oh, Val, yeah.
Val will be there, and any of the other fellows.
Yeah, that'd be awesome to see Pocket Stinkle play again, which was hysterical. She came in handy. Having an invisible pixie on your side, ready to gank anyone from behind, is really a cool asset to have. So
yeah,
awesome, dude.
Well, as long as she doesn't get distracted by something shiny.
Yeah, I know. That's why we're trying to keep her focused. So Anna, what's going on?
First, my commission for Gamehole Con is on the home stretch, so
nice.
It's not that much. I'm in the texturing phase, so it shouldn't take too long, couple of weeks, and then hopefully that is all done, so I can go back to GREYHAWK full time. And there it will be a 700 plus patron little jubilee. So I'm put together a bunch of heraldry and some other stuff. So there will come a big update. And I will talk more about a bunch of future projects and do some reveals and stuff. That's coming from my Patreon soon. I don't know if there's like 5 or 6 shields, and I hope to do a bunch of them more. And Tim, I have a couple of versions of the putrid tongue shields coming your way here. So
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
No, that's coming. So yep, yep. So they were coming
cool.
up. Yep. So there's a couple of them
Oh,
coming
wow.
too. Yep. There's like 3 varieties of variants of the putrid tongue shield. So yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. And so they're coming there too. And so I've dug into some of them of the shields are old. Awesome. Yep. They are from the Grey Kingdom. So we have the Ivid Fiend Knights and stuff. These are described in the Ivid the Undying, so I made them. And then there's a couple of here that Garel Enkdal is another one that I've made shields for and so on. So I try to see the ones that are coming. And I'm working a lot on the GIS maps and a bunch of others too. So it's a lot of things in the making, but not that much to show. But if you tune in on Friday nights, you will see me working on stuff. I worked on the Shield Lands area Friday. And Linda was doing farming sim and stuff, but I was working hard on the Shield Lands, and that is actually bearing fruit, so to speak. So I'm making huge advances there. So it's good. And the GIS is also moving forward. So yeah, hopefully a little bit later this year we will have some really cool upgrades to both the current map and future maps. So yeah.
So thanks, Anna. We're gonna have. Let me see how quickly I can
and also there will be I will prepare games for virtual GREYHAWK Con and Gamehole Con. So
that's
there will
awesome.
there will be sign-ups. I'm not sure what day. If you go to the if you will attend the Gamehole Con, I will run a game there. And have a seminar there as well. So I'm prepping for that as well.
Beautiful.
And that is only like a week or the next weekend after Virtual GREYHAWK Con. So I will run games that are similarly themed, not the same one, but similarly themed, set in the general area, the same, so to speak, for Virtual GREYHAWK Con as well.
Beautiful.
Yep.
So no game Thursday. It's 4th of July, right? And everyone's off. So no game Thursday night. But Wednesday night, Mike's back, and we also have Les and Sam and Gary Julian. So we go from a couple people to a full crowd here as we discuss the Earthland.
Yep.
So
that's a good one.
Yeah. So that's going to be Wednesday night, July 3rd at 7. Saturday morning we will have the underdogs. Just get me a title, Tim, and then I'll banner that up coming up as well. All right. Now let's talk about this. Starting Friday night. We're going to start before the first stream because I have front page. Look for the stream to start around 7 p.m. The first game won't start till 9. If I start the game earlier and we finish at 1, Tim and I got it. Well, Tim's going to go sleep. I got 8 hours between, right? I can't have that. So look for the first game to start around 9 p.m. But before that, I'm trying to get. And if anyone has Tommy Kelly, he hasn't been able to respond to anything of mine. I'm trying to get him on to talk about his writings ahead of time to start up at 7 o'clock. Friday at 7, things should kick off. Here's the guest list is crazy. The guest list is nuts. Who we have? Where is it here? I got shit everywhere. Here are the people playing right now. 9 p.m. Darling, Bones, Myriad, Bird, Coco, Ed Greenwood, and Tim. Okay. 9 a.m. I may add one more person here. Mike Disney, Phantom Rob, Coco, April Nicole Hill, Stronghold Tim, first time ever playing, and the ever mysterious Tim there.
Tim Squared.
3 p.m. Brett, Curtis, Coco, Korg, Chuck Combo, Tim, ever mysterious Tim, and a tentative special guest on that one. So I have one. Yeah, I may have one more on the 9 a.m. one. I'm not sure 100%. So the only reason I have those people up on it, I'll have banners up for each game separate, is because, with the exception of Ed, they're the first that committed. Now, I want to show you the character. I'm making everyone's character up. All the portraits are done. Here is Darlings. Rosie's ancestor. Nothing like Rosie at all. Rosalita Applebottom, 7th level halfling fighter, neutral good, is an envoy for the County of Ulick to Prince Treseren. Okay. Yeah. So badass fighter, wears a magical wolf head pelt with special abilities that she, whether she slayed it or whatever, that's up to her in the backstory. But no nonsense and hates humanoids. Dagger throwing specialist too, Tim.
Nice.
So dual wield, short sword dagger fighter and then dagger throwing short sword specialist. Yes. So halfling, part of the prince's entourage. That's not well. So as an example of a character. Yeah. Punch drunk J. Yeah, I'll be punch drunk by then. So just to give you an idea of some of the other things. Now, lastly, let's go back here. Let's go to thank you, Scottish Jeff. Thank you, Curtis. I know I'm missing some people. Jeremy, I think, did. And that's 23 it's going to go to. So let me go here. We are open for business for 24. We got about 10 games already in. I think we almost up to 25 signups. Please sign up. The earlier you sign up, the more we know we have to gauge for how many events we need. So it's a $5 just because you got to pay for the cost of the site. But October 4th through the 6th. So yeah, please do, and please put in your events. Les got his in minute 1. So after mine, Les's is already in. I know, Dale, you got yours in too. That would be good. Understood. If you're going to run something, Dale, that'd be fantastic. And I understand. I understand the prep thing. I understand.
I'll do an underdog or a reverse dungeon.
Okay. Just note, something special did come up Sunday morning. If you know who Andrew Scott Perry is, the Guildmaster of Warp, played with Gary all those years. His guild is legendary. He's running an event for 8 of us of the community. He wants me. I'm sorry about this, but he said, please, you handpick them, and so we're going to stream that Sunday morning. So I have to move. I already have to move my second event, which was my second Lost City, the Sewell adventure. But we're going to run 2. I'll run 2 of them. I'll figure out another time slot. But yeah, so that'll be a Sunday morning special with Lost City, the Sewell for. Yeah. Tim, you probably got your Saturday morning slots locked up again. Early.
Early.
Sound good? Yeah. So, fun stuff, and that's what's going on. Let's do the giveaways. Thank you all for the support. Thanks to Tim and Anna for coming on. Fun discussion.
It was fun.
Yeah,
fun.
Definitely a fun one.
I hope it was inspiring and gave you some ideas.
That's all we're looking for, is for you guys and gals to get inspiration from what we discuss here. The winner tonight is Bob Oso. There you go, Bob. You got it.
Cool.
So let me know. I have plenty of stuff here for you to pick from. I think Bob's on. He's still in chat. He's still in the chat log. So there you go. I will get with him and we'll give him something. And we'll see you Wednesday night. He said, yes. All right, Bob. Whisper me or Discord message me, whichever one you want. We'll figure out what I got so many things here. I have an original free. It's not original. I have the GREYHAWK original glossography. I have a Marklands, City of GREYHAWK, all sorts of things. Treasures of GREYHAWK, multiple adventures. Just let me know in chat and we'll figure it out and I'll get it right out. So we're going to raid into Darling. We normally do on Sunday night. And we'll see. Yeah. We'll see a huge crowd, hopefully, for the Earthland on Wednesday. And then, sorry about being off on Thursday but it's a holiday and I don't want my ass kicked by my wife.
Good call.
Yes. All right. So, yeah, that's cool, Dale. So I'm glad to see so many games going on in the community as well. It's fantastic to hear a lot of people playing in games with other community members. Really good to see. All right. See you soon. Let's raid into Darling.
Bye, everyone.
Look at that. Woo. Raid.
Aloha.
Tim, when's Valerie leave? Is she leaving in a couple days?
Yeah.
Nice.
Or a trip, and she'll be back.
Yeah, we should be back in time for that. Good to her.
Probably more tan.
Oh yeah, tonight's the Mall
suffering in
Madness
Hawaii.
finale. Yeah, tonight's the finale of a game on Darling Show, Mall Madness. So have fun with it. Look at that, 88. That's awesome. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you Wednesday. Awesome. Great show.